Hmm.
To decide to remaster that like past content, it'll be in the form of like a trilogy and like whether it be movies. I no, this is a question I'm gonna ask you. Also, hi to everyone in chat. No, me and Crick are yapping. Thank you, Keychain for the happy early birthday, and hi Josh Z, Cage, Dandelion, Sword, Cage 4. What's good, everyone? But I want to ask you, how would you prefer for these things to be repurposed? I know we mentioned Kingdom Hearts 4, and how it could be repurposed in KH4, but like, what's your best case scenario for like the Key Saga?
Best case, my best case is probably too good to be true, and it's them repurposing everything they've developed for Missing Link to come out as a like standalone online multiplayer game after Kingdom
Yeah.
Hearts 4, but that's too good. I switched to my PC by the way, so my voice might be a little wonky. Um,
No, I could tell. You sound good.
okay, bet. But what's realistically going to happen, right, is again, I have a very like just based off of what I played and based off of the amount of time that that game was in development, I feel like they had way much more done than what we have ever seen, right? So I feel like they could realistically just repurpose it into a movie, which isn't unheard of. They've done it very recently with 2.8, right? Unchained Key, that movie was just a fully animated movie, and I feel like they could just repurpose all of the cutscenes. They could even cut out the idea of like the player, quote unquote. They could just make it a brain oriented movie because he was also in the game, right? He was supposed to be a important character in the
Yeah,
game. So I feel like they could
Brain is.
make a oriented movie around him and the connections of Scala and like anything else to the story.
I agree. Dude, Brain's definitely one of the characters I think is going to suffer the most from Missing Link's cancellation because for the most part, like we were getting introduced to new characters in Missing Link, so like I think theoretically we might be fine, right? For the most part, like if they just decide to ignore it, but Brain's one of those characters. Like he had a follow up in Missing Link, and also people were theorizing that uh, Luxor Demix were going to be in this game as well because they never appeared in Union Cross
Mm-hmm.
or Dark Road. Keylay Legacy thing that it had to be Missing Link. It had to be in Missing Link in some way, shape, or form.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I don't know. There's a lot of like definitely a lot of weird variables surrounding Missing Link's cancellation, and I am worried about how it could affect KH4, but I also don't think it will. Like I think at most they'll have to do some slight rewrites for KH4, and they'll probably just pivot a little bit more into like KH4. I think is mostly going to be about like the Azora Quadram stuff, anyways. So I think for the most part that story will be fine, but it's the stuff that we don't know about that could be concerning.
Yeah. I honestly also think that they have a really unique opportunity to kind of change whatever the prologue of Kingdom Hearts 4 is. They have a really unique opportunity of giving us a like when you start Kingdom Hearts 4, as of now, we have no idea what we're gonna like witness when we start that game. If they want, they could honestly give us 2 to 3 hours of like just gameplay in that version of Scala and kind of give us a basic rundown of what we needed to know from Missing Link leading into Kingdom Hearts 4. Which brings me to this. What do you when you think of Kingdom Hearts 3's prologue compared to the other games? What do you think about it? The whole Olympus thing.
Personally, I think it's definitely like the prologue lacks a little bit of sauce, but like I'm not bothered by it. At the time, I loved getting straight into the game, but in retrospect, I do think like, okay, that prologue could have, they could like okay, like it could have had a more distinct beginning. You know what I mean? Because like
Yeah.
in Kingdom Hearts 1, you have Destiny Islands, and that's iconic. Kingdom Hearts 2, you have Twilight Town,
Mm-hmm.
very iconic moment. Like I think Kingdom Hearts kind of had this trend. Even Birth by Sleep, even though it was way smaller, you had Land Departure. Kingdom Hearts 3 kind of Kingdom Hearts had this like thing where you would start off the game in like a very unique like way or setting.
Hmm.
And Kingdom Hearts 3 kind of dives you straight in, which they thought was like a modernization approach, but in actuality, I think in retrospect, for a lot of fans, it became it lacks sauce. That's really what it is. The
Yeah.
prologue lacks a little bit of sauce. It's still good though. I mean, it's not even really a prologue. It's just kind of you start in the first world.
2.9, dude. It's 2.9. What do you mean?
Yeah, you're right. It's 2.9. Do you believe that someone in my chat, Thomas, has mentioned this? Do you believe in the whole like 0.2 like was supposed to be the prologue thing? Like, how do you feel like that would have affected the game? Are you happy that 0.2 was its own separate thing, or do you think it should have been part of KH3?
So let me toot my own horn as a modder. That game was 0.2 was in fact the prologue of Kingdom Hearts 3. Like there's no doubt about it. Um, the way that those two games are set up, it's like very obvious that everything in 0.2, like within the files, there's like a giant missing piece, and that is the entirety of Kingdom Hearts 3. Which obviously makes sense. They were developing both at the same time, but more so as in like 0.2 was supposed to be the prologue. If that was the case, I feel like there's a lot of people that are bitter about Kingdom Hearts 3, like overall. Like, oh, it's too focused on the Disney, it's too focused on this. I feel like if 0.2 ended up just being the prologue, it would have honestly, like most gripes people had would not have like really blossomed. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you brought up something interesting earlier. I don't know how big into Star Wars you are, but you mentioned Legends, so you must know a decent bit about Star Wars.
Hmm.
You
Hmm.
mentioned Legends. So the way I view Kingdom Hearts, and this I think like at its core, this might be why I'm not as critical of 3, or I don't have this like burning fire in my heart towards the game or anything.
Right.
Um, is because I don't know. It's maybe the way I am with media, right? I noticed that a lot of Kingdom Hearts fans, they're like, and I don't blame them for this, but they're like very game to game. Like Kingdom Hearts 2 is its own separate product, KH1 is its own separate product. Kingdom Hearts to me is like more equivalent to like a Star Wars, a Marvel. This might be over glazing Kingdom Hearts a bit, but I do think there's comparisons, as in Kingdom Hearts has like a very long running story for a video game. So
Hmm.
I view these games as like chapters in a book, not like the whole book. Like the dark like so 0.2 to me is like, even though I started with Olympus, to me 0.2 is still part of that story, if that makes sense. So like
Absolutely.
I
Absolutely.
don't
Yeah.
knock like points from like, okay, like I do think if you're reviewing KH3 individually, yeah, it probably could have been better if it had like a prologue, if it had some of those elements in it, right? But like for me, Kingdom Hearts 3 is everything that built up to it. It is 0.2. It is like Days.
Hmm.
It is even the good parts of Coded, Dream Drop. So it's like all those things leading to KH3 are still like a part of it as I'm playing the game. So it's like, I don't know, I'm these Disney worlds and all these moments, like they're not nothing to me at all. And it's like, how else are you going to explain like to Sora all this stuff? Like Sora didn't know any of this stuff. We knew it for years. We've been simmering on it for like a decade prior to 3. But like Sora doesn't know Ventus is in his heart. Sora doesn't know like how to awaken Roxas. Like he doesn't know how to do any of this stuff. So you can't just as a writer like automatically just make it work there. Like you have to build up to Sora get like learning about the 3 hearts inside him and awakening them. And I think that's mostly what the Disney World's covered. And for me, I enjoyed it. I also do think the trailer is like through for KH3 a bit. Like
Bro,
it almost feels like a cop out
dude.
excuse nowadays, the marketing. But it like looking deeper into it, it genuinely was. I'm not gonna lie, I
Yeah.
genuinely think it was the marketing to up for at least half the fandom, for the hardcore fans. There's a big reason, like you see Spy on Twitter. There's a big reason that newer fans love KH3, or at the very least, they don't feel as harshly towards this too,
Yeah.
like as harshly towards as other fans. But all the fans who had been waiting for that game for 10 years also watched every single trailer, and that's not their fault. That's Square's for like advertising it the way they did. for example, I'm gonna tell you this. I know I'm yapping your ears off, but like one of the biggest things coming out of like Dream Drop Distance, one of the biggest mysteries. It was who are the 13 Seekers of Darkness. We knew basically none of them aside from like 3 or 4. They revealed every single Seeker of Darkness in KH3. How hype would it have been if you played KH3 for the first time and you saw Marluxia, like no advertisement, no spoiler. That's the first time he appears in a game basically since Chain of Memories. And he just popped up in KH3 out of a portal. You would have screamed, bro. That would have been like insanely hype, you know, like the stuff Spy's been posting. Like it would have been crazy.
It
But
kind of. Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, you're good. Go ahead.
It kind of sounds like you're saying that we shouldn't have experienced the game through the trailers, which Kingdom Hearts 3 suffered from that horribly. Like every hype moment, like Marluxia, was revealed through the trailers because
Yeah.
they needed marketing material, but at the same time they couldn't just show off Traverse Town. I really just said Traverse Town. Twilight Town over and over again. You know what I mean? They couldn't just show off Olympus, which they should have. And I really think that in the long run, it would have helped better. Instead of revealing every single world and then also every single adversary connected to that world. Come on, that's the whole game. Like you're taking you're making me experience the game through the trailers, right? And you can't even just it's valid like for someone to say don't watch the trailers, but at the same time, the trailers are being made by the same company that's making the game, and I want to watch the trailer for the game I'm hyped for, right? So I'm gonna watch the trailers, but you can't tell me that I just experienced majority of the game and now I have to just go through the motions of the game to just get to the end, and I've seen majority of the end as well, right?
I have that separation where I like I was still able to enjoy the game without like even despite the trailers, you know, like
Right.
because I took the game for what it was, but I know for a lot of people they're not thinking that deep about it. They're just playing the game. I don't know. They're playing the game the way they're going to. Like not everyone's going to be a creator or have to have that separation with media, I guess. But I think the trailers really just suffered from I think the Disney World suffered the most from the trailers. More than anything, the Disney World suffered a lot. And I think that's why we have the narrative of the worlds not being important. Because what's one of the biggest reasons people claim KH2's worlds are so important? Because organization members are showing up.
Right.
KH3, it does the exact same thing.
It does.
But probably better than KH2 if I'm being honest. But the issue is they revealed all of them before. Like we got spoiled on Larxene, on Marluxia, on Vanitas returning.
Yeah.
And people made theories about nobodies and Unversed and Heartless, but at the end of the day, they're just theories. They're just theories. So they didn't have to show us all the interesting points. And back in the day, I used to defend and be like, they needed marketing material, but I kind of think the Disney Worlds are enough. You can just show the Disney stuff without the KH stuff, really. Because I think most KH fans have proven they'll buy it. Okay, do you guys think Kingdom Hearts 3 sales would have taken a massive hit if the marketing was if they took a slightly less spoilery approach? I do think showing Aqua and maybe KH fans, showing Aqua was all right. That was a fine moment, but I think there's some things that could have been fine for marketing, but I think they didn't need to show everything.
Yeah. No, I honestly, I totally agree. And I really think that because most of the people were waiting for the game and they saw everything they saw in the trailers, obviously your first thought is not, oh, everything they showed me in the trailers is 80% of the actual game, right? That's not your first thought when you're watching a trailer. So when I experienced the game, when I played the game, I had a blast. I loved basically every second of it, right? It's just when I got to the Keyblade Graveyard and I was getting really close to the end, I remember I had a nagging thought and feeling in the back of my head, basically just saying, there's no way, like, there's not more after this, because everything I've seen from the trailer so far, right?
Yeah, you have the exact same. Yeah, I had that thought. It was while the Guardians were dying, right? They're like,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. I was like,
yep,
wait, but like, okay, so there has
yep,
to be more after this scene, which there was. It was like the final world and everything, right? And then it really hit me when I beat the game and like, Sora disappears and everything. And I vividly remember being very confused as to what was really going on, because I was like, yes, the game led up to this point, but I was like, but I feel like there's not more. There's like, that was it. And then obviously after the fact, I went back and like, I really thought about the story. The story is actually really good for 3, especially like
yeah,
just leading up to the Keyblade Graveyard. Kingdom Hearts 3 is like, it's a culmination of like 10 or 12 games before it, right? You can't
yeah.
you can't perfectly balance that, right? They did the best they could, and I think it was honestly like the product we got, the game we got was great. It's just like it starts getting to really small nitpicky stuff, like why couldn't we explore Twilight Town, right? Why couldn't we explore
Yeah.
Mysterious Tower? Why couldn't we interact with the Guardians and stuff, right? Like why was there not like a hub world where we could just like at the near the end of the game? Why couldn't we just like walk up and talk to them? Like they're standing in their trios. Why can't we just talk to them? You know what I mean? Um,
Yeah.
and it's like, okay, that's really nitpicky. This is still a culmination of like a bunch of hours of just content coming together, and that's what this game is supposed to be. Not my fanfic like of, you know, like we got the cutscene with like Sora talking to Ventus, but then we got the cutscene with like Roxas and Ventus interacting and stuff, you know? So it's like the stuff we've been wanting to see, we saw in 3. I just think it's because of the way the marketing was handled, it really just left a lot of people bitter after the fact. I don't know.
The most hardcore fans definitely suffered from the marketing cycle a lot, and that's unfortunate.
Yeah.
It'll probably always be like that, but I think I do kind of think while 3 is gonna be divisive for just a long time, I think as time goes on, it probably won't be as like glorified as 2, because like us hardcore fans will always like be preaching the experience we had, but as more and more new fans get into the franchise, I think we're already kind of seeing it. You're going to start to see a lot more people talk about how good 3 was, and those tweets are going to get more likes, more retweets, more people are going to be like, 3 wasn't that like it's going to slowly happen more and more, and
Mm-hmm.
people are going to claim revisionist history for that. And there are some things that are definitely revisionist history. I do not think 3 is one of them, because as someone who liked 3 since the beginning, um, I feel like just the game the game's good. It's a good game. Like it's like some feelings are a little, I'm not gonna say exaggerate, 'cause I understand if you're disappointed with something, like I get it, because I have things I was not crazy about in 3 either, but really uh the sum of everything it was and what it built up to was like amazing for me. I wanted to transition to something else, asking something a little bit more about like you, because not everyone in my chat might be like familiar with you. They probably are just just through modding,
Mm-hmm.
but what? Talk to me more about like your modding experience in the Kingdom Hearts community. Like how has it been? Like honestly, you've been around for like
So
years.
I mean, I like I said earlier, back when I was on my lap my laptop. I mean, I started streaming and modding kind of at the same time, and my modding began on. It's kind of crazy how it started. So I ran into a random YouTube video that was recommended to me by someone else who's a modder in the community. His name's Exeblade, right? He was
I know what
modding,
that is. Yep.
yeah, he was modding Kingdom Hearts 3 on the PlayStation 4, right? You had to jailbreak your PlayStation 4 and you could mod Kingdom Hearts 3 on it, right? And he had a few tutorials set up, and I watched the one where it was like, okay, so you need this version of like PS4 firmware, right? Well, my brother had bought a PlayStation 4 Pro, and because of that, he had put his old one, an OG PS4, in the closet. So I grabbed that PlayStation 4, dude. I plug it in, and I'm like, what are the odds that this has the correct software on it, like the software version, right? I think it needed to be like 7 point, like I remember it was like 0.72, something 0.72. Dude, it was the exact version. And that right there, I was like, yo, dude, screw it. I'm gonna try to mod Kingdom Hearts 3 because like I fucking love this game and I feel like not many other people are doing it. So if I just brute force my way through it, it would be dope. And then that's kind of how it happened. And once that ball started rolling and then it got announced for PC, I technically just had like a little bit of a head start because I was already focused on Kingdom Hearts 3. So when it came out on PC, I kind of went into it even further, and and then that kind of led to CMod menu and everything. And that was kind of my magnum opus, man. I did the rando as well. Really limited with what we had when we made rando, and it's kind of you can kind of tell when you do play the rando. There's a few finicky stuff in it. It's not perfect, but we got it set up to the point where we were
You
happy
and
with
Water
it.
made that, right?
Yeah, it was me and Water KH, and then since then, after rando, I kind of took a step back from modding. I still lurk. I still kind of keep up with like what's going on and like the tools and everything available. It's gotten crazy. It's gotten crazy. It's kind of plateaued because back when I was modding, even like on PC when I was modding, I could do something and then a more efficient and updated version of like the modding tools would come out of the project we were using to like mod Kingdom Hearts 3, and then I would have to like redo all my work basically because if I wanted to update to the newest version of Unreal Engine that was like that the game could like run,
Yeah.
I would have to redo my work over and over again. So that was like one of the reasons I stopped. But now it's plateaued to the point where it's like the tools and everything are maxed out. They have like the capability to do anything. So I'm kind of interested to take a look at it again. I can't lie. It's been a minute, but
Dude, I I know, like, I feel like Game Hearts 3's modding it was like super active the first like 2 3 years after it released on Epic. I feel like there's definitely been some big mods, but I feel like over the past like year and a half ish, there hasn't been anything like, well, I won't say there hasn't been anything super crazy, but it's the pace is slowed down, of course,
yeah,
right? Which naturally happens as time goes on.
yeah,
These new tools that I've been seeing you and some others talking about on Twitter is extremely exciting. And to talk about Cage 3 Rando, I I do remember the Cage 3 Rando stuff. That I was around for that. I was very excited for 3 Rando, and I I remember y'all are finicking around with the project a little bit, so I wasn't giving y'all too much like slack, but I definitely remember what y'all are going through, so I get it.
yeah, dude. And
Yeah.
everything that happened with that, it really hit both of us with like motivation. Really, like when I talked to Water about this like a while ago, but when we initially like announced like, oh, Cage 3 Rando, like we're working on it, it's possible. Like that was just really to just put it out there that we're doing it. But like at least the way I like after reflecting on it, it's been a while, right? So I've been reflecting on that for a while now. I really think that like it got it started just getting pushed and everyone was like, "Yo, let's fucking go. When is it coming out?" We were like, low key like we could probably finish this and like push it out, right? And then when we did, um we were just running into issues with like random crashes that we just couldn't replicate, dude. And it was driving us nuts. So we were focusing on that while also developing it, and like a bunch of other stuff happened, which I'm sure you know. I'm not really trying to bring that up, but it really
I don't
just
know, like the really big, really deep stuff, but we don't have to bring it up. I do remember. I just remember seeing like the Discord kind of like. I ain't gonna lie. Some people in the Discord were definitely being from my perspective, people were saying a lot of understandable things. It's the classic, kind of like what happens with Cage 2 versus 3 debates. People were saying things that are perfectly understandable, but just in a very aggressive way.
yeah.
And I could that wasn't the way to go. But with Rando, I because I've been wanting to actually get back into Rando. I only just, you won't believe this, I only just recently started playing the Cage 2 Rando,
I've been
and
seeing your streams about it. Yeah.
yeah, I've never done a Cage Rando before this.
Hmm.
Well, except for your guys's. Um, I'm surprised. I'm like surprised at how like crazy that is. And I also played the BBS Archipelago and stuff as well. I was wondering, um, like because I know back then you guys had like stuff going on with like the new modding stuff that has been kind of like unlocked. I forget. I know it's like UE4. I forget
SS
the exact.
UE4SS. Yeah.
Yeah,
That tool. So I talked to Willow about it. So
yeah,
with that tool, the the entirety of Kingdom Hearts 3 Rando could be remade and like just run in game. Like no external tools or anything would be required. The entire thing would just run in it. And then it would honestly also fix majority of the issues we were having with the development of like there was an issue where like some certain special items like you could change the you could change the item that you were receive, but the UI notification within the game was hard coded, and there was like no way for us to access that while the game was running, right? So because of that, we had to like a workaround was like, okay, you would get the notification of like the item that's hard coded, like for example, like this isn't one of them, but like if you were getting the gummy phone, if we changed that item in the files to be a random like a potion, right? You would get the potion, but you would still get the notification that you received the gummy phone, right? That stuff was
yeah.
hard coded. So we implemented like, okay, we'll just come out with a secondary notification after the fact, right? That was one thing that caused a lot of issues because of the way we had it set up. One thing, one issue, like
Alright, we're
major.
gonna pause right quick because it doesn't say my OBS is lagging, but must be some YouTube server stuff. That's weird.
Oh no.
I'm just refreshing right quick
Okay.
to see if there's
Yo,
anything.
everyone should come to my. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Are you streaming right now?
Yeah, dude, I'm back on my PC. I got
You're
that.
back
I
streaming?
got it on
Okay.
lock.
Yeah. Come on. I'll definitely link that.
No,
I
for
know if you
sure.
still stream afterwards.
What was that?
As I didn't know if you still stream.
Oh,
Let's
dude, I
go
I stream every Thursday. It's kind of
every
crazy.
Thursday. Oh, you have
Every,
a hard schedule for it. Okay.
yeah, yeah. Every Thursday is my goal.
On. If my stream lags, we should be back up on YouTube by the way right now. But if my stream lags, chat, go to critics. Seriously. But I think we should be good. That's weird because that's the weirdest lag I've had. Because usually if my stream's lagging, it will tell me that my OBS has dropped frames, but it did not do that. So that's
I think,
very
yeah,
odd.
I think you're back up though for sure.
Yeah, hopefully it doesn't happen again. That's very weird though. But anyways, so chat, are we good? W's in the chat if we're good. It says I'm live on YouTube again.
Yeah, awesome.
Also, hi critics chat. Hope you guys are doing well. But anyways, there you go. There's the W's. So you're talking about the rando and things you could do with the gummy phone and how
Yeah,
things
yeah,
could
yeah.
work.
So some things were just hard coded. Majority of Kingdom Hearts 3 modding back when I was doing it, I want to say like until the tail end. Like the updated version of CMod I made was like the introduction of like the plateau in the development of the modding tools, right? Which is why I feel like I did it to begin with, that update to CMod, because before that, everything was kind of like everything I was doing at least, right? Based off of my knowledge, was a hacky kind of way of doing it where it's like, yeah, it works, but behind the scenes, it's like, this is like, this should not be working. This is like a bunch of spaghetti noodle code that's somehow just causing the game to do what I was trying to, but that kind of carried over to Rando too. And honestly, it got to the point where it was like maybe like the tools aren't just there. Let's just leave it in this like semi working state. Like the base rando itself does work, right? The boss rando, not really. That's like the most hacky ish thing that
The
we
main
set up.
issue I remember that you guys had back then, it's probably been fixed. I just haven't tried it since like it initially launched. Like I mainly remember I think it was like the logic for items and stuff was a little finicky.
Yeah.
You couldn't complete the game. And I remember y'all were trying, but like every time y'all tried and like said it should be fixed now, it was still a little rough.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. The reason for that was the like on paper in the code it's like yes, all the items should be rearranged now and they should all be obtainable, right? But then
yeah.
the only way to test that is if you do a full run of the game every single time, right? I mean, I was in school at the time, and I mean, Water has like a real grown up job. He's a goat. So we would like test the functionality. We would play a little bit, but we would never like go all the way to the end every single time. And I think that really shot us in the foot. So when we started sending it out to people to test, that's when issues started coming out to like, oh, why does X person have it but Y person doesn't, right? And that's when we started realizing, well, yeah, we're still developing it. Yes, we announced it. Yes, we talked about it, but like we never said like, yeah, it's coming out next week, right? So that's kind of why things also kept getting like more and more messy, and then
I,
you know,
Yeah, y'all did that at like I think I think the and again like you guys like did a good job. Like you and Water both have a track record that speaks for itself in the modding scene. So like I like no, I don't know. Just shout out to you guys for that. But what I'm trying to say is I think what it seemed from my perspective at the time was I've seen a lot of creators and modders kind of go through this. I mean, I've been through it myself in a couple of instances with events and stuff I've tried to run. You guys probably did not expect how big the rando, or maybe you did. But you guys probably didn't expect how hyped people were for the rando and how badly people like ultimately like wanted it because you guys did that rando. I want to say Borland at the height of like KH2 randos, like tenure, because KH2 rando was like popping off.
yeah,
Was
yeah, I do remember that. Yeah,
crazy optimized. So you had basically everyone from that community wanting to try out and really because they you guys heard everything. They were like, yo, I know how a rando should like maybe go and run or how it should play in like a setting like this. And they're like, yo, let me test this out, please, please, please. But
yeah,
y'all wanted to go at your own pace, and
yeah.
I completely understand that, regardless of like whether people agree or not. That's I totally get that. But um, what what's going on? Like, has there been any like updates or anything to the rando like since then, or
I'm gonna be completely honest, dude. We both, I mean, at least me, since then, I've completely stopped modding basically Kingdom Hearts 3
yeah?
altogether. I still have the files and everything, but
You
my
had an
my
update to your Steam mod menu though, didn't you?
well, yeah, that yeah, that was after. I think that was a year after, but since then, even since then, I barely like between CMod Plus and Rando was a year, and then since CMod Plus, it's now been another year. So like I've barely done anything since then, other than CMod, which is like I need to lock in. I guess I don't know if I feel like there's
No, I
so
mean,
many
dude, I
more
get it. Like,
opportunities, but
I
um,
get it. Life happens. I've been the same way with a lot of projects myself. I feel like I've been honestly to you like you don't know this as much because you don't like I don't know, we haven't talked that much in the past couple of years, but
mhm,
like genuinely, I had this period for a while because we did used to talk at least a decent bit or like be on streams and stuff a lot.
mhm.
My chat knows this. I have been very isolated the past couple of years, and it's mostly just because lot of life. A lot of life has
Right.
happened,
Yeah,
and I'm kind
exactly.
of now. One of the reasons I hit you up to if you want to do a stream because I mean, sure, you have a very good vibe. I want I don't know, I'm trying to get more into like the community aspect of like Cage a lot more because I definitely took a backseat from it for a while. Not even because of any like crazy negative reasons. I mean, I have some personal ones, but like not because I like hate the community or anything. I love the Cage community with like all my freaking heart, dude. Modding community, um, like my fandom, other people's fandoms. Like I don't know. You see me on Twitter. I'm a little bit of a troll on Twitter sometimes, but
Hmm.
like genuinely, one of the reasons I do my thing on Twitter a little bit is because I'm I don't know. I'm like, dude, I want to put Cage on like this pedestal, bro. Let's make Cage part of every discussion. Why not?
Right. I
But
mean, I feel like another reason is just there hasn't been enough. There's just nothing to like really talk about Cage related, like con
not really new.
yeah, new information wise, which I
Yeah.
mean isn't a bad thing, but like it just, I mean, kind of sucks.
Yeah. It's a little slow. So we gotta kind of we gotta do our own things to entertain each other.
Yeah,
What's your opinion on the whole weight cycle for KH4, by the way,
dude.
and like the fandom and whatnot?
Oh my God.
We're an open book here on stream for the most part. So
The screenshots were probably the worst thing they could have ever done. I can't lie. I can't
you,
lie.
yeah, I've been questioning that recently. Like, is that more of a positive or negative? I'm happy I have them, but I'm also thinking to myself like, why do you release that with no follow up?
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, I get why they did it, but even Kingdom Hearts 3 had 1 minute trailers that kind of just showed off not much. I'm talking early Kingdom Hearts before Unreal Engine, like when it was Luminous still. There was, I think, a total of 3 trailers in Luminous, right? And one of them is literally just Sora in Twilight Town attacking like a large body and a few shadows, and then that's it. And I was like, you know, I'm not saying they should just do that again, but it's like the screenshots kind of feel. I don't know. Should I feel confident in the fact that they're actively developing the game? I never questioned that, but should I feel confident that all they're willing to show off are screenshots?
I think Square on the
Nah.
I think I think Square is a little like they're weird. I'm gonna be real. I love Square, and I'm not. Look, okay. I don't know what your perspective is on this in the fandom. Me personally, right? This is the type of creator I am, and this is to chat to. Y'all know I've said this before. Um, love Square Enix. They have been very nice to me on certain instances. They've given me codes for games, and well, they've supported me, right? And I obviously support the crap out of their game, and I'm here for it. But as much as I am a Kingdom Hearts fan, that does not mean I will not say how I feel regarding the company. I try to I'm just a Cage super fan. I'm not no like industry plant or like I got the sources, I got the leaks, bro. No, I'm just my like approach to content is I'm a fan that just talks about the game. Now that's kind of it. So I'm a fan with the microphone. Anyhow, with that being said, to Square, personally, I think it's really silly how long it has taken. I think 2 years was like, okay, they're waiting, they're buying their time. I get it. I know, like, we know the developers work hard. Like how you said, it was never in question if the game was being developed. It's never in question that, like, the devs are working hard, that the devs are, like, obviously putting their all into this game in some way, shape, or form. I think the semantics and the debate comes in where I kind of feel like we've reached that like point in the marketing, quote marketing, where I do kind of think the weight's doing them more harm than good. I'm not saying they need to
Yeah.
drop the game right now.
Yo, I definitely. Hey, everybody in chat. How's it going, everybody in chat? How's it going, Joseph, Paka, Star, Starlight? I love all of you guys.
Along the way, we definitely. But we are at least hoping.
No, I'm right here. I'm right here.
What is this?
What's up?
I'm sorry. No, this. Okay, this like lo-fi remix. This dude was like talking during it. But whatever. It's like really random lo-fi mix on my stream. But this I'm trying to. What was point is, I'm trying to say, like, I think at this point they should release the trailer just as a PR move, cause like
Nah,
every
nah.
event, this keeps happening. I think this year was like the most telling one, cause it's like, like I'm not saying you need to harass the devs or anything, but I do think like they already revealed the trailer. They already announced the game early. I'm not like I don't think just because they drop trailers means they're going to spoil us. They should learn their mistakes from 3, still release trailers, still release stuff. Just don't show like big important stuff. I don't think it's that hard to like know what's important and what's not, like for Square Enix in my opinion. Like show some Disney World stuff. Show I don't know, show Darth Vader with the lightsaber.
Nah,
That's like
man. Nah,
show,
nah, 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 nah. Nah. I gotta
show the really basic
respectfully
stuff.
disagree. I gotta respectfully disagree. The next time we get a trailer, so Kingdom Hearts 4 got announced because it was leaked, and they needed something
Yeah.
to announce for the 20th anniversary. It was the 20th, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they needed something, and it was already leaked. So they were like, "Fuck it, we're gonna Tetsuya Nomura is gonna draw some art. We're gonna show off what we have so far, early pre-viz, right? Even though the game was
Mhm.
already in development. Um, then the screenshots were only there to mitigate the backlash of Missing Link getting canceled. Two reasons for that. That game was heavily marketed and it had a lot of promotional material made for it. The second thing is this is a major franchise and it has had like little to no major games beyond like the concept get canceled, right? So they needed something to show and they hadn't shown anything. So they do the screenshots. There the next time we get a trailer for Kingdom Hearts 4, that game is coming out within a year to 8 months from that initial trailer. That's kind of what Final Fantasy 16 did. I think 16 was actually more like a year and 8 months, but I think it's going to be lower, like a shorter time frame for Kingdom Hearts 4. Um,
Yeah.
and the other thing is like I want them to show us nothing but the areas. I don't want to see any characters. I don't want to see I don't want anything to do with the story shown off in the trailers. I want like actually I take that back. Final Fantasy 16, right? I watched every single trailer for that game, but but I still was able to experience the game myself and not through the
Yeah.
trailers. And someone in my chat made a really good point, and I've made a video about this actually about their new marketing tactic where they start heavily marketing very close to the release of the game, and they only show very early gameplay stuff and like story stuff within
I
the
mean,
game.
technically speaking, KH3 kind of did that too, though. Like 90. Okay, most of the spoilery KH3 trailers happen within the last year of development.
Well, not only that, but I mean the so by that
Like,
logic, right, they showed off every Keyblade transformation. They showed off every world, right? That's as if like Final Fantasy 16 showed us every single. Well, technically they did show us all the icons, right? So,
yeah.
so I mean, I guess it follows that, but it's like showing us
No,
the
no,
fight itself too. I don't know.
no, I get you. Like, okay, like so, like the semantics of what they show. That's at the end of the day, we have no control over that. But I will say to Square, um, like less is more in what you show.
Oh,
For
so that is
trailers.
so true.
So
That is so true.
that's like okay. In my opinion, I think like I think right now they drop a trailer, all of this like arguing on Twitter, all of this I kind of sort of like bad press they've been getting a little bit when it comes to trailers and wait times for games, especially from the Kingdom Hearts community. I think that goes away. Like the second, I think it goes away. Period. The next time we see KH4, more than likely. Well, I won't say period, but I think it goes away. All the semantics, all the arguing, not all that goes away for like a year if they drop a trailer within like the next like month or two. Genuinely, and I think at that point it might just be worth it to drop something just to tide people over for a little bit, and people will be like, "Oh, don't do that. That's how we got spoiled in KH3." No, like they all the spoilery KH3 trailers happen within the last year of the game, like being developed. Like we started, I'd say KH3's like heavy marketing push. I will. you could argue it maybe started at D23 when they revealed Toy Box. I would say they kind of went ghost for the rest of that year after that, or at least a little bit. I'd say their big marketing push started at D23 Japan in 2018. That was when we got Don't Think Twice. That was when within a week of that we got Monstropolis revealed. That was when Marluxia was first shown in the Tangled world, and then a couple months after that, that's when we got 3 trailers at E3. We got exclusive orchestras before. Basically, like that last year before 3 came out was where basically everything happened, and that was their marketing push. And I think they're going to probably take a similar approach with KH4. But my like suggestion is that they mostly stick to worlds. Most cage trailers ended with big story elements. They ended with
Yeah,
like I'm playing them on screen right now. Ended with anti Aqua. They
dude.
ended with like, some Xehanort quote or something.
Aqua got
They're
Norded?
over, yeah, like they're over here showing like all this crazy, this crazy stuff, right? Showing the game's tragedy and really marketing like the ending of the game. Essentially, they had a whole trailer about the ending of the game, which I think is flawed. Like, to be honest, I think that's a very flawed concept. I think
Yes.
remake did the same thing actually, but still, like, I don't agree with that at all. I didn't watch any trailers for remake till after. I I think I hope and I want to have faith because even though K3's marketing we criticized it, I still love the game. It still ended up being my favorite video game personally, right?
Hmm.
I'm hoping for 4. I think Square can drop a trailer for 4 right now
No.
and still have
No.
people have experience
Dude,
personally.
I'm telling you, two things, right? The reason I don't want them to is because we have the screenshots. Even though I don't dislike the screenshots. I love the screenshots. It was damage control, yes, but
Hmm.
I'm glad we got them because if we didn't, then that would have been worse, right? So they had to say something, and I'm glad it wasn't a trailer, but I still dislike the idea of like that's all we're supposed to get. Even I'm contradicting myself like extremely, but I still think the next time we get a trailer, it has to be when they're ready. Like when they're ready to come out with the game. And I really, really don't want them to just do a willy nilly trailer.
That's fair. Like I can't disagree with that. Like I can't disagree with it. It's like I get it. Like I agree. Like I would be definitely I would definitely feel a little weird or uncertain if they dropped a trailer and like now in development start playing games. So I was thinking more like an announcement for an announcement. Like, hey, announce a trailer now and be like, oh, drop a trailer and at the end of the trailer be like, we'll be back and 26th anniversary or something. I don't know, or
Mm,
25th anniversary
mm,
or something. I don't know. Whatever they want to say. Maybe not that long, but you get the concept.
yeah. I like I would love a trailer. It's just if we get a trailer and then still have to end up waiting another 3 years for them to develop the game, I would have rather just not gotten a trailer at that point because I
Yeah.
don't want to see the game while it's like even though that's how most trailers are, like I don't want to see the game be developed through the trailers. Like when you go look at the Kingdom Hearts 3 trailers, like each time a trailer comes out, Sora's model is a little different, right?
Yep.
Like it keeps getting more and more polished. It's like yes, but why are you marketing the game if it's like in this state? Just chill and show it off when you're ready. When it's like when it's to the point where like if we're gonna change something, we're not changing his fucking model, right? But I
I
really
get
think they
that.
learned. They learned from Kingdom Hearts 3, no doubt. No doubt.
Because I think expectations are starting to build right now, and I'm seeing that happen again, like we did with KH3.
And that's
Well,
ridiculous. The people should have zero expectations for Kingdom Hearts 4 because the direction it's going is you cannot no one can guess what the story of Kingdom Hearts 4 is going to be. And I love that. The way Kingdom Hearts
I
3
love that
ended
too.
and the way the trailer has set it up and the way Melody of Memory and everything has set up everything, no one can speculate shit because anything
And
can literally happen.
don't think it's expectations because I mostly saw this one like during the Summer Games Fest fallout. I'm gonna call that like we did the second time in a row we had a Summer Games Fest fallout, but
Yeah.
yeah, the Summer Games Fest fallout because that was I think I would say that's when the right now it's simmered down and we're back to our little niche like Twitter circles, but would you agree that when Summer Games Fest and those events start rolling on, you start seeing the casual like cage population come up
Yeah.
and they start tweeting and yapping. Though I think I'm seeing some of those people a lot. I saw them a lot during Summer Games Fest being like, this game still isn't out yet. This game still isn't showing anything. And I'm like, look, I don't agree with these people. I want to make this very clear. I don't agree with them. Personally, I agree with you. Like, I'm fine with waiting for a trailer as well. But well, fine in quotations. I will manage because I will, as in I'm fine because I will be there no matter what.
Right. Right.
So, but some of these like not everyone's a Cage super fan, and I think we have to realize that as a fandom, not every Cage fan has it as their favorite product in existence. A lot of people have it as like a third or fourth, or maybe even it's just another video game for them they just happen to like. They're not thinking about that
Nah,
deep.
man,
For
Cage is
those
life.
people, it's like time does matter.
Yeah.
It definitely
Yeah.
does. And I'm gonna give an example of why time matters, right? Again, I'm sorry I'm yapping a lot, but Borderlands 3. I've been getting back into Borderlands. That's why I bring it up. I was the biggest Borderlands fan on the freaking planet, bro. Pre 3, like I was a super fan of Borderlands 1, 2. Didn't care about the pre sequel that much, but if you ask 2015, 2016 Prodigy if he would have played Borderlands 3 day one, it would have been a yes, like standing there front and center. I That game took so long to come out after 2. I still haven't played it to this day. I never got it. I never played it day one. And like, I guess I think about that for myself and I'm like, I wonder how much that happens for like other people. And I'm saying that as a say, like, Borderlands 3 still sold like really well, but it's just the idea, the comparison that like the hype, the momentum isn't like there as much when you have such a long wait, especially between like seeing the game. I think dropping the screenshots are cool, but casuals didn't care about them screenshots, bro.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be real.
Yeah. I mean,
So like,
I think it's valid too because it's like the screenshots look good, but then it's very obvious it's from either like I hope that's not their most recent build, because it
for the
just
gameplay one, yeah.
yeah the gameplay ones like I'm gonna be completely honest, they don't look that good. It like it looks good, yes, but at the same time it's like very obvious. Like that's the thing, right? With Kingdom Hearts 3, the one trailer where Sora looks really weird and his fingers are like all wonky on his arrow guns, right? That's the vibe I get from the gameplay screenshots. And I'd rather not get a trailer like that. I'd rather get a trailer of like what the product is actually like. Anyways.
Yeah, man, I agree. By the way, because this is, by the way, this is, I probably shouldn't have done this. This is on me. I should have like, I this is my first time talking to Critic in probably like years, and this happens to be on live stream. But I trust Critic. Critic's a vibe. You guys have been vibing with Critic in the chat. Hope you guys on Critic's end have enjoyed me. I'm a yapper. Critic has been in many of my live streams. Even over the past couple of years, interacted plenty of times on Twitter as well. I'm a yapper, so I talk a lot. The Critic just saying that to you, feel free. Just yell over me, bro. I
I
don't
got
mind.
you. I
I'm
got you.
just a chronicle yapper. That's just how I am. Um, with that being said, I agree with you on the marketing. Like I agree, but I just think like what more do you think? I think the positives of dropping a trailer right now, not even just for Square, but for the community's like health. To be honest, at this point,
Yeah.
like also PR wise, because you're seeing like these big journalists and stuff as well, news articles also talking about the four way. Even Japan isn't fine with the four way. I remember I did a whole video reading like Japan comment sections. They were over here saying this game like because after me and you like KH3 Critic, me and you like
Oh, for sure.
KH3, and to be like blunt, a lot of people who like KH3 are on the side of the fence where like they can take, like, it's fine for them. There's a lot of people who didn't mess with 3, as we clearly know. Uh, they they want something. They want a sense of direction for the franchise after so many years, and they'll get it. They will get it. But I think the argument for now is, what harm, what more harm could a trailer do, or what harm at all would it do that, like, I think the 3-year wait maybe hasn't already done potentially.
So if a trailer comes out and it ends with no date or no follow up announcement of like,
That's a if
oh,
though.
what do you mean?
That's a if. Like, if it ends with no date or follow up
Well, yeah,
announcement.
yeah. Well, the
If
whole
they follow up
idea of
announcement.
a trailer coming out, that's an if too, right? If a trailer comes
Yeah.
out, would you rather not have it be like this is I 99% believe this is the case. The next time we get a trailer, the game is coming the game will be coming out within a year and a half, right? I would
Yeah.
rather have that be
Sooner.
certain, like 100% than getting a random trailer and then no follow up or like oh, follow like uh come to like view D23 for like the next announcement. Like I'd rather not have that and I'd rather just have the next trailer be the beginning of the release marketing, right?
Yeah, I
Does
feel
that
you.
make sense? I feel
No,
like
I
that.
no, I completely understand. I think I'd rather I'd rather get a trailer. Best case scenario, get a trailer within the next couple months, or get a trailer this summer, period. And the trailer has a announcement for an announcement. I'm gonna say, I'd say, drop a trailer and be like, "Hey, we'll see you." I'm not gonna. I have trauma from KH3 with this, but say coming this winter, or like we'll have more news in winter or something like
Yeah.
that. KH3 at one point they never gave us the news that winter, but I think do that, and then maybe actually give us some news in winter, or give us something like next year. Do an announcement that a trailer, short, it could be a short trailer. I think they could just remake this trailer in Unreal Engine 5. Like, to be honest, just remake the KH4 trailer in Unreal Engine 5.
Oh yeah,
Do
with the
that
updated
and
models.
say we'll see you in December, or like during the 24th anniversary or something. Me personally though, um I'm I'm pretty confident that the game is probably going to come out at the earliest. I think the absolute earliest it drops is like late next year. But I kind of think I
I
kind
agree.
of think Age 4 is aiming for 25th anniversary. That's why I believe
Well,
it's like
25th anniversary lines up with the 30th anniversary of 7, and I think they'd rather prioritize that
think
because remake part 3 is the end of remake and I think
1/7th anniversary.
it's next year.
Oh well, like the date, like the time period on the
Oh,
1/7.
well, I honestly don't think they'd come out with two heavy hitters back to back because they did that with
I doubt it.
16 and 16 honestly was hit a little hard because of that.
Yeah.
Um, I can't remember what game it was, but I feel like we got Final Fantasy, like something Final Fantasy related, and then 16. I was it. What was it? It wasn't
7 to
Rebirth.
be 7th, 30th. Well, I mean that might, it could just end up being a good year for them. Who knows? You might be right though. I mean, I'm hoping. I think 2028 is like the too late period for. Like, I won't say too late. There's not a too late, but
I
there's a
mean, dude, I'd rather get a like 40 to 60 hour long Kingdom Hearts 4 game in 2027 or like 2028 at the absolute latest than a shorter Kingdom Hearts 4 next year.
yeah. I want a good, like, period. I want a good product, and like the quality of I think this is why I have like the disconnect with it, because the quality of the product isn't really in question for me. Like,
Yeah.
I know KH4 is going to be good in
Oh,
my
for sure.
opinion. So it's just more so like, how we get there. And man, like fandom, like we're gonna all reminisce and be like, yeah, remember those time periods back then. We were waiting for KH4. I'm gonna be real, bro. Like this is kind of a while. Like, just for, like, I'm not even saying this as like a content creator. Like, me saying that isn't it, sure, it'd be cool to have like a trailer to make content off of, but um I actually didn't like the original KH4 trailer. I didn't. I thought for me personally, it didn't feel like Kingdom Hearts. I still even say this. I actually think the screenshots did more for me than the trailer did. Genuinely,
Yeah,
genuinely. That's
I
how I
get what you
felt,
mean too.
and it's because it told me more about the game without revealing too much. Like that game, it gave me a sense of direction the game was heading in, and most 90% that comes from the Mickey screenshot. If I'm being honest, um,
Dude, that
that
screenshot is crazy. I can't lie. I can't
no,
lie. That really opens up the door of like Final Fantasy VII, like both part like remake and rebirth. They do something really well where it's like you're playing the game, right? You start doing some cutscenes, and then out of nowhere, your group gets split in half, and the camera shifts to not Cloud, and now you're playing as Barrett for like an hour and a half, right?
yeah,
And I love that. And I really think I don't know why games are afraid of letting you play from different perspectives. Like yes, have a central main character, but having the camera randomly pan to a unexpected character out of nowhere is like such a breath of fresh air. And I really think that like Remind did that, but I wish
or
Kingdom Hearts 3 itself like base did that too, which it did with Riku, right? So obviously they're not afraid of doing it in 3 in for Kingdom Hearts in general. I really hope that we really get that more in Kingdom Hearts 4 with like, out of nowhere like it cuts to a cutscene with Mickey and then instead of cutting back to Sora or whatever, right? We just we start playing as Mickey out of nowhere. I feel
dude,
like that'd be dope as shit.
um, I think that opens the door for Melody of Memory. Like, okay, because Melody of Memory is ending like as a whole. Um, I felt this way back then, but I didn't really have any like proof for it. But like that ending to me felt very much so like I guess like what Dream Job Distance's ending sort of kind of was, or I guess better put it, 2.8's ending like that was like the start of like the next arc like that's when they're about to start moving. Like he gave a mission to everyone.
Yeah.
Mickey go to Scala, Don and Goofy tell everyone to stop their search for Sora, Disney World stuff, and
Mhm.
Kyrie training with Aqua. It gives me more hope for all of those things to be explored, and I feel like that's probably going to be the B plots of KH4, and that
Yeah.
excites me a lot. So that Mickey screenshot gave me proof that okay, they are thinking about these other elements. Because I was actually kind of worried about KH4, even though I love Sora. Sora's my favorite character of all time. Period. Um, I was a little worried, despite like wanting to play as him throughout most of KH4, that they would not care about the other like characters. Because that interview Nomura said in the Game Informer thing kind of spooked me a bit. Because like I get it if you're trying to reset groundworks for Kingdom Hearts, but if you brought like he brought all these characters back, and I feel like even if it's just a cutscene or two, like they gotta be in there, bro. We gotta see like Roxas, Xion. We gotta see them like moving around, doing some stuff. But he was like, I don't know if there'll be room for him in KH4. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
That's kind of weird.
Yeah, I and the thing is like we still don't know who is going to be introduced in this game. We have Sterlitzia so far, right? That's unexpected. Who else are they going to just randomly show off? And how many new characters are there going to be, right? And I really feel like he brought the characters back because I mean, in the end like is the point of making a game from the perspective of Tetsuya Nomura to make it sad everybody dies and stays dead, or like if you persevere, if you really care about these people, you can always find a way, right? Roxas
Yeah,
came back, literally everyone came back, right? Everyone got the happy ending they deserved by going through a bunch of like turmoil, right? And
yeah.
I feel like yes, they're
Lessons left
back,
game.
but if they're not necessarily 100% in the game, I wouldn't. That's the thing. This game can go in any direction, dude. We could have all the characters in Quadratum, which would be a little
That
too cliche, or we could
that is
have
what I
them barely
love.
in the game. You know?
That is what I love about KH4, and that is why I am like, even though I say I want trailers, I that is something I want them to maintain for 4's marketing cycle, that mystery. In my opinion, KH3 doesn't have much mystery. And I don't mean that as a criticism of 3. I mean that as like for KH3, especially because of the trailers, admittedly, Kingdom Hearts 3 became a lot more about context rather than like hype moments. Well, I won't say hype moments, but like it was more so how does Roxas come back rather than if he comes back.
Yeah.
How does Xion return rather than if she returns? How does Sora beat Xehanort rather than if he beats them? Like stuff like that. It was about the how and not the what. Um, I think like Remind brought this feeling back. Yozora, the Master, Union
Mm,
Cross, they are
hmm.
filled with mystery that I think hasn't been this strong since probably KH1 since the series started, and that's very fitting because this is a new arc, and I love that so much. Um, yeah, I'm super excited about that aspect. Critic, I think if they had to go into a if I had to use an example for like marketing approach or just like if they want to, because inevitably the marketing cycle will start. We will get a lot of trailers. We will get a lot of content probably in some way, shape, or form. Um, I think the Remind approach to marketing, given it was DLC, was literally perfect. Like I think that's exactly how you go about promoting like these games in the future. I'd say the only thing they might have went a little overboard with was maybe Azora, but even then, I don't. I think that's perfectly fine because like we didn't see Shibuya, we didn't see anything else. We saw like him from afar, like face to face with Sora, and that was it. And the trailer ended. Like that was like pure aura moment right there.
Yeah, and that's
That's
after
pretty
having seen
straightforward.
him in the secret ending too. So it's not even like we knew there
Yeah,
was
like
something up there. So it really just it opened more questions than spoiled, I guess. You know what I mean?
yeah, you didn't know for sure if he was the secret boss, but you could probably put two and two together.
Yeah.
Like Remind didn't show like they left so many surprises for us in Remind. I think that's why the hardcore fans adored Remind because
Mhm.
they didn't show much of it. Like they gave us 3 trailers for Remind, with like some screenshots and stuff. They showed us like data greeting and they showed us some like some repurposed cutscenes in Remind in the Remind scenario. They didn't show us the Guardian fight. They didn't show us. Did they actually? I don't think they did. Did they? They show us the Guardians fight? They might have. I might be misremembering. But they didn't show us a lot of big moments. Basically,
Yeah.
we saw we were able to experience Remind for ourselves. The bulk of Remind was like completely spoiler free
Mhm.
from us, and I think they take that same approach with 4. Like with 4, mainly show Disney Worlds, show Disney Worlds is your main marketing tool. Show Disney World, show like you can show some characters here and there, but like don't anything past like the end of the game, past like the halfway point, just probably just avoid like the plague. If I'm being real with you for Cage, but
I mean,
ah,
most
remind
movie
me.
trailers are also only showing stuff from the first. Like a movie is typically what, like an hour and a half to 2.5 hours, right? Most
Yeah,
movie trailers nowadays only show you stuff from the first 30 minutes, which I think is great because everything you've seen from the marketing material you go through in the first 30 minutes, and then everything after that is unknown, right? And I mean, Remind, now that you mention it, Remind was probably the first example of the new marketing tactics that Square Enix has been using. Because of just the format that you explained just now is the same format that 7 Rebirth went through. It's the same format that uh, Final Fantasy 16 went through. Uh, I guess Forspoken counts as this. It's just Forspoken is just a other very very unfortunate things happen to that game, but the marketing for it, all the trailers, I played through about half of that game. All the trailers are like the first 2 hours of the game, which is great.
that's good. That's really good.
Yeah.
Like I'm definitely gonna like even as a creator because I'm a KH fan first. I mean that's why I'm a KH creator because I'm a fan.
Yeah.
But like I'm probably there's gonna be a certain point. I don't know when it is. I'm gonna have to figure it out for myself. But there's going to be a cutoff point for me. I didn't do this last time. Well, I think I did like a month out from 3 coming out, but like there's definitely be a cutoff point where I just don't watch anything for myself.
I can't lie. I don't think I
It's gonna be
can.
hard.
I don't think I can do that. I don't
It's
think I
gonna
would
be
be able to
hard,
do
but
it.
I'm gonna try.
Remember when 3 came out and it basically just got completely leaked, like, what, 2 weeks or a week before it
Yeah,
came
that
out?
was like, oh no, it was earlier than that. That was worst case scenario. Literally in November, someone stole like a
Yeah.
packet for like all the Xbox copies.
Mhm.
They got
And
arrested.
I couldn't I gave myself I was like, "Dude, I'm only going to watch gameplay." And I watched gameplay of Caribbean and that was it. And I was like, "Okay, this game's peak." And then
Well,
I didn't do anything else after that. But I just kept rewatching this one, like, it was like a 30-minute video of just gameplay in Caribbean and I was like, "Dude, this game's fucking awesome, dude. I can't wait."
yeah,
And then
like
Caribbean was like my least favorite world, low key, but it was still hype. It was still hype, dude.
I only did two things off of the leak. I me and my friend Yaya did watch the entire open beforehand. Well, we didn't watch it. He watched it. I told him, bro, I don't want to see the whole thing. But he did. I did listen to the full "Face My Fears" song. I was like,
Oh
that's
yeah,
basically taught me. I'd listen to that, and
that's not that bad.
yeah, and I did look at Gummy Ship stuff, but aside from that, I didn't look at anything else. I did get
Mm.
spoiled on some stuff though. Like I
Oh
saw,
God.
okay, like how to describe it? Have you ever like seen something you didn't want to see, so you like wiped it out of your brain? So like it was still a surprise when I saw it, but like I pretended like I didn't know what it was. I was like in disbelief. Like I'm pretty sure I did see this, but like it wasn't. I was still hype in the moment. I
Yeah.
think I kind of saw the Aqua versus Vanitas fight
Oh,
before it came out.
dude.
Yeah,
No way.
and
Because
I did
that.
see it.
Oh my
I
God.
saw a on Instagram
Oh no,
someone posted a someone
dude.
posted the epilogue, like just they just posted a straight shot of Zigbar, and they said this wasn't from the leak, this was from the Japanese copies, and they just said, "Oh my gosh," in the captions, like "Holy crap," right? And
Dude.
I'm like, is that the image of Zigbar? What are they saying? And like my heart started like pacing like faster, and I'm like, wait, what? And then I still didn't know what it was, but I'm just thinking, I was like, wait, okay, Zigbar's involved in some big reveal. I don't know what it is, but oh my
Oh
goodness.
no, dude. That Aqua. You see, that's what the game really couldn't. Like, I was anticipating everything in Kingdom Hearts 3. That, the Vanitas and Aqua fight, I was not. That
I
fight
I, I
is.
I still was surprised though. I
I
still was surprised. I knew she was in land. I actually don't think I saw Vanitas, but I saw that she was in land departure.
I know
Like,
that entire thing. Like, I lost my shit. And
yeah,
that fight, I really like that fight because Sora, Donald, and Goofy are in the background, which I love. I love when games do that. When it's like in Kingdom Hearts 2, when you fight like what's his name, Syax or something. Like Kairi is there in the cutscene, but when the fight starts, obviously she's not there in the battle zone. But this one, the way 3 handled that fight, and Sora, Donald, and Goofy were in the background, that was awesome, dude. I love when games do stuff like that.
yeah. I think I love that too. Dude, my favorite part about the fight was like people don't realize like this one if they skip if they skip cutscenes because you can only experience it for the first time because you let the cutscene play out in full. Like Venus's theme and like when that guitar like riff starts,
Mm-hmm.
as soon as we transition to playing as Aqua, dude, I screamed.
I
I was
know.
like, I went crazy.
You see that one fight was basically all of Remind. Do
You
you get
said
what
it
I mean?
trumps it?
No, no, no. Like I'm saying, like all of Remind was like basically that one moment over and over again because it was
Oh
just
yeah.
unexpected. It was a hype fight, and it was again like for a game that's about the culmination of all these interlinked stories. It needed more moments like that, which it had, right? Not
Yeah.
only did it have that moment with Aqua, you played as Riku a few times, but then that's kind of it. You know, when with the Aqua fight with Sora, right? Him not
Yeah,
using Master's Defender, that's what it's called, right? That Keyblade.
yeah.
Eric is yeah. Him not using that Keyblade is probably one of the biggest missed opportunities in Kingdom Hearts.
That was weird. I'm not gonna lie, that was very weird.
I hate that so much. And then because it's not like he wasn't able to use it. He's used Riku's Keyblade before. He literally summoned the Keyblade and then unsummoned it. I hate that so much. It would have been so awesome, but
This thing was bait, dude. I also think I will admit they baited us with thinking we were going to go into Data Twilight Town. I think KH3. I understand Omura's perspective, and it comes off as like this cutting corners and kind of, but I don't think that was his intent because I think they had time to do it. I just think they didn't do it.
yeah.
Nomura took this approach with KH3 where he only put in what was necessary. And I say that, and people be like, well, all this Disney stuff. Well, Disney is necessary,
Yeah.
unfortunately. I may not agree with that, but it is necessary.
Yeah.
Not even just talk about to the plot, to I do think it sucks to say. I love Kingdom Hearts. I love the story. I do think Kingdom Hearts is like less interesting without Disney, without the Disney element. That is literally the X factor of the whole franchise. Like, anyways, that's a whole nother tangent. I wonder if you agree with that or not. But I feel like when it comes to I actually forgot my point. I don't know what to say anymore.
No, you're good.
Forgot
You're
it.
good. You're good. I do agree. I think the identity of Kingdom Hearts is a mixture of like Disney and Final Fantasy, even though like the essence of Kingdom Hearts itself is very similar like to Final Fantasy in terms of like the original characters and the original worlds, but the inclusion of Final Fantasy I think is also a very cool aspect of the franchise. The people that make
I agree.
the argument of like, oh, they just needed that to get the franchise off the ground, they don't need it anymore. I don't agree with that. I think it is very
No way.
it's very, you know, they're equal in my mind when I think about Kingdom Hearts. Like Kingdom Hearts is majority Disney, right? Because that's the whole
Yeah.
concept, right? But then the other majority would go to the actual original Kingdom Hearts related things, and that little bit remaining is what Final Fantasy's inclusion fills, right? So with
Yeah.
Kingdom Hearts 3 not having, I don't think it had any Final Fantasy characters
In the base game, no. You know that cutscene in Kingdom Hearts 1? Um, where you first see Cloud for the first time.
Mhm.
Like Phil's over here talking to you,
Yeah.
and like Cloud like slowly walks past while Donald, Goofy, Phil, Sora are all on screen at the same time.
Mhm.
That's Kingdom Hearts.
Yes, exactly, exactly. So
This
it
Cloud
not
walking
really,
past Donald and Goofy.
I mean, like you're right. He was focusing on you see that's the thing. Kingdom Hearts 3 is unique because it was a focus on Kingdom Hearts,
Yeah.
which in this case, what did the Final Fantasy stuff really have to do with anything, right? After the fact, after the ending of Kingdom Hearts 3 and going into Remind, they're reintroduced because the story that Kingdom Hearts 3 was trying to tell, which was the end of the Xehanort saga was over, right? I can't really think of any way to include the Final Fantasy characters into the base game of Kingdom Hearts 3 other than them just being there to be there, which is kind of what Winnie the Pooh was, you know?
In a narrative way, yeah, but I think that's something to like discuss though, because as much as I love 3, I think this phrase fits perfectly for 3 in Nomura. I think KH3 got lost in its own sauce a little bit. And I remember the point I was making previously, with them like cutting corners with certain stuff. I think Nomura had this approach with 3 where he only did what was absolutely like a necessity to the game. For example, why waste time running like fighting Heartless in Mysterious Tower when we're really only there to do one cutscene and like walk away? Like
Mm.
why go to Data Twilight Town when I could sum up that whole visit in a cutscene?
Mm.
And when he's neglecting to realize that, I mean, Nomura, he's admitted this. He's more, he's more of a story person than a gameplay person, anyways. He does have a lot of input on gameplay elements, though. He's the director, obviously, but he definitely like can get lost in the sauce a little bit when it comes to like the story stuff and like kind of laser focusing on like revolving even gameplay elements just around that. Like
I think
I think he underestimates that just going into the mansion and just going to Mysterious Tower would have done so much for players who felt like the game was only Disney.
yes.
Just small things.
I think that in hopes of making the story efficient, it felt like you said the cutting of corners, right? And I'm telling you, if zero point 0.2 was simply just included into base Kingdom Hearts 3, then I feel like Kingdom Hearts 3 would have little to no gripes with the story. People could complain about, floatiness or the gameplay however much they want, but I feel like if that game just started off strong with about 4 hours, 3.5 hours to 4 hours of just Aqua's story, then leading into, like, think about that. 4 hours or 5 hours is how long the Keyblade Graveyard stuff was, right? So round that off with 4 hours of Aqua, going into all the Disney stuff we do, right? Which was still fun and it was still good. Leading into the Keyblade Graveyard, that's like a 40-hour game. I feel like I beat the game in 30 hours, I think. So we're talking about
Really?
like I think so. I don't remember how long my first playthrough took. What is the average? Do you know what it typically is? Is it shorter?
I'd say around there, honestly. I beat the game in 25. I'd say 25 to 30 is the average for KH3.
Yeah, exactly. And I feel like if they just included zero point 0.2 in the game, then a lot of people would be more happy with the duration as well as just the overall inclusion of like more Kingdom Hearts story in 3. Which I guess we talked about this earlier, but like nothing is stopping people from like playing zero point 0.2 and then immediately starting Kingdom Hearts 3. But like, yes, that in effect does replicate what I'm trying to say, but at the same time, the inclusion of it in 3 would have made 3 just that much more special, I think.
Yeah, I I agree completely. Like I think it would have been better. I also do think at the same time though, 0.2 probably got more fleshed out because it wasn't the prologue. But
Oh, for sure.
I
Yeah,
think,
because it had a ton of like side stuff you could do with
yeah, and
the
I'm just like,
Zodiacs.
well, I think 0.2 did a lot for Aqua's character. I do think it would have been cool because you could tell that even in KH3 where they probably would have like ended that segment with like the blank point scene and kind of going back to like that, having that whole like loop around um into the Ansem stuff. But dude, that would have been tragic actually. Imagine 0.2 just ending with Ansem with Anti Aqua would have been wild.
Oh man, yeah,
Actually might have been a
which
wilder
makes it
ending to that
because
game.
think about it. You would have gone from playing for as Aqua for a couple hours immediately to 3 Kingdom Hearts 3 Riku, which would have
Yeah.
been fucking gas. I can't lie.
Honestly, that might have been a better way to pace it, even to a degree. You play 0.2 up until she becomes anti-Aqua, and then you start KH3 as Riku in the Realm of Darkness, Riku and Mickey, and then you transition to Sora and Olympus stuff.
Yeah, which man, I can't lie. Thinking about it like that, again, in effect, that is like what we got. Yes, but technically, you have to purchase 2 separate games to do that. Um,
Yeah,
but
2.8 still be full price, by the way. I don't understand why it's still full price, but whatever.
2.8 is
Yeah,
Jesus.
they still market it at full price.
Interesting. But
Well,
yeah.
previous gen full price.
Oh, 60. Yeah.
Previous gen.
80
Um,
bucks.
I think I don't know what I feel like. Okay, so to wrap up, like some of our combos,
Mhm.
I'm hyped as crap for 4, dude. I'm so hyped for the game.
Oh, Sam.
Um, I'm content. I will wait. I will be there no matter what. I do want something though. Like, other people
Understandable.
are fine with waiting. If other people are fine with waiting. Hey, bro, that's all you. If I get, I hope I'm gonna keep hoping until the game comes out though.
This is the
I
exact topic of my of a video I'm making about how like waiting for games just makes people bitter kind of, and like how that like how it's valid, but
yeah.
it kind of affects how you experience the game as well when it does eventually come out, right? Uh
That's why I think it's like right now it's in a vacuum, bro. The bitterness is in a vacuum.
yeah.
That's why I think like they're already in this situation, so they might as well just accept it. You know, like yeah,
Yeah.
the game was leaked. It only I know it's because of the Nvidia leak, right? I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Um, like the game was leaked. They announced it early because of leaks. I don't know. Damage was already done from that. You announced the game. It's out there. So that you just gotta accept it for what it is. Just drop
Right.
something. Go ahead though about your video.
Oh no no that was it. That was it. It's just mainly about like when you're waiting, right? It kind of lets the hype build up, right? Now I'm glad Kingdom Hearts 4 is in that position where like you can't anticipate anything about that game. So it won't let
Yeah.
people's expectations go out of like whack, but the waiting it just it's like it's like people who wait and they're willing to wait, that's good. That's fine. But then the people who are forced to wait, but they want something and they're not getting it and there's a lack of communication, it just like over time it kind of just gets tiresome. So when the game does come out and it's not what they expected because of that long wait, it kind of just it influences like the way they experience the game, which is again is totally valid, right? I'm not saying people can't dislike Kingdom Hearts 3. I love that game. But the people who do dislike it are mostly people who waited for that game from day one, from back in
Yeah.
like 2013.
And yeah, and or for some even let's yeah, this is the 2013 thing. I'm talking about the crazy ones. I even think I even think it's valid. It's pretty valid to say you've been waiting since two because I think the existence of a two implies a three might come out later. So I get it,
True,
but
true.
I think like even though I don't agree with that argument still, but I I think if KH3 released like if KH3 released like mid PS4, like 2016, 15, theoretically, not saying it could have, like put aside the actual dev time, if KH3 released like within 3 years of it being announced, I genuinely think like half, if not like 90% of the criticism it got wouldn't be here. Like
Exactly.
even if it wasn't as good as KH2, like because that like even if it wasn't as good as KH2, it wouldn't have been as crazy. Like if KH4, and that's why I think we're having this discussion a lot more now. We started having the discussions around 2 years in. I think everyone kind of understands 3 years like is a little much, so people just kind of let people be with being irritated. I think KH4 is kind of reaching the point where like expectations and like that the weight is getting is the bitterness is setting in and like
Mm-hmm.
I'm not worried about the sales. I think the game's going to sell fine. It'll do fine. I'm worried that the game's going to be in a situation where we're like, I waited for this game for freaking 5 years and
It's not the one I
now
was expecting or something.
yeah, like yeah, a game that comes out 2 years after announcement is usually receives a lot less criticism than the game that like well you anticipated for so long,
Mm-hmm.
especially when it's this big of a title.
Yeah.
Anticipation in a vacuum becomes resentment is what I would say.
Yes. Yes. Or bitterness. Bitterness. That's the term I'm coining for this video, dude. I say it like 20 times, 30 times in like the first 2 minutes.
By the way, guys, I gotta say, you see, me and Critic, we agree on most things from the sounds of it. We even if like some of our viewpoints like aren't fully aligned. I want to show you guys this is what a normal cage conversation kind of looks like. Even though on Twitter and stuff, people can be a little like weird and crazy. No, don't take things so seriously. Like, even if someone like rages and is a little upset about 4's weight, they're probably a chill dude. There's not fine with the weight. If someone is like saying to you like, "Hey, bro, yeah, I'm fine with waiting," like they're probably a chill person too. They're fine with like, I don't know. Like, just because people disagree doesn't mean stuff has to be weird.
Hmm.
So shout out to you, Craig. Also subscribe to Critic. Pinned in the.
Thank you, thank you. I appreciate it.
We're all normal people at the end of the day who just happen to like Cage. Does that make us normal though? Since we are still talking about this game 3 years later, are we
Yeah,
normal?
obsession. It's a weird
Yeah.
thing, this community. I can't lie, but it's like a
So
good type of weird.
so what were you talking about? So you were talking about your modding stuff earlier. What are you gonna come back with modding? I'm gonna re-ask you all these questions, by the way. Like if I do a podcast with you.
Oh no, that's totally fine. That's 100% okay. But I was thinking maybe I don't know, man, but maybe something related with Rando, because I mean I've always wanted to go back and like, you know, touch it up a little bit, especially because of the new tools available, like I said, as well as like the terminology is like a U project. So Unreal Engine 4, you make a project in it, but like most of the Kingdom Hearts 3 project has been finalized and complete. Kind of
Yeah,
like, just it's not the source code, but it's referencing the source code basically, right? Which lets you basically do anything you want. Um, it's a little finicky here and there, but it's really gotten to the point where it's like it's finalized. We have the same capabilities as the developers of the game. It's just we can't change anything underneath the hood. We can just kind of change the hoses that go into the engine, basically, right? Um,
I get it. Okay.
so I wouldn't mind going back to that. So I came out with CMod Plus a year ago, and I get people like I get comments on that video of people having issues installing it, and it's like maybe we need a CMod plus minus. I don't know.
Dude,
Uh,
I'm gonna be real. I made the simplest, easiest how-to for a mod for how to install mods possible. People have different rigs and setups they give.
yeah,
I think you could make the perfect system thing, and some computer somewhere will have trouble with it.
and I get that, and 9 times out of 10, like most of the time when people DM me straight up and they're like, "Yo, I'm having issues with CMod," I ask them what their specs are, which is probably the worst question I could ask. But I'm telling you, dude, some people are trying to run this on like a laptop, which is like, sure, it's a gaming laptop, go for it. But like my PC, which is like, it has a pretty decent graphics card. My
Yeah.
PC takes like 30 seconds to boot up with CMod, right? And some people are just not waiting long enough because, they might not have like an SSD or something. And 9 times out of 10, they're waiting on the title screen and the title screen's not popping up, so they think it's not working, but it's literally just loading in the background. So I'm trying
I,
to figure that out.
I actually think that might be a partial reason modding has like slowed down a bit. At least that's what was theorized. I haven't been in the loop and I haven't been talking to as many modders personally unless they come to my chat or something.
Mhm.
Track me on Twitter. But like I've noticed because one of the biggest mods that released last year was Project Xion from Discount, and I loved that mod. I couldn't run like half because of my rig. And I
Mm.
admittedly I have a pretty like mediocre setup, especially now because my PC is kind of dying.
Oh no.
I had a 2019 like PC. I have a 2070 right now, RTX 2070, and I have a Ryzen 7. I have an AMD processor,
Mhm.
which I'm never using an AMD processor again in my
What the
life.
fuck? What are you talking about? What do you mean, man?
Doing it, bro. I this processor has given me such bad experiences. I'm not doing
Nah,
it
you
again.
have probably the worst. Okay, I can't lie. I have a 2020 PC, so I have a 3070, and I also have an AMD processor. My PC randomly generates static noise out of nowhere, and it's because I'm using an AMD processor. But I'm still gonna do AMD again because their newer generation processors are way better than Intel. I can't
Bro,
lie.
that's how I got conned into this one.
No, no, I'm telling
No,
you,
bro. They
dude,
said the same thing.
do not Is this pre-built?
Yes, it is a pre.
That's good. That's fine. I believe in pre-built PCs. I don't understand the elitism of like building your own PC because it costs more, and most of the time a pre-built is like better. You just need to swap out like the type of RAM they used, right? Or whatever, because like they kind of cut corners, but like the
They do.
corners they cut let you get a better base to just upgrade either right there or like in the future, right? But dude,
I'm doing a
don't do Intel.
custom.
Don't do Intel. Don't do it.
I'm doing a custom pre-built PC. I have it in my. It's actually in the description of my live. If you guys wanted to help me out, why
Hold on.
not?
I'm
But
about to pull this up, dude. I'm about to read this off right now. Where is this?
go for it. But well, what am I doing? My friend built that for me, by the way. I'm friends with a lot of tech people, and they helped me out with that one. Man, it might no. Oh yeah, that should be updated. But then I forgot if they did that before or after the new Nvidia stuff came out.
It has
But
a 50
regardless,
5070. That's pretty decent.
yeah. So a lot of KH3, there's a lot like the bigger KH3 mods. I'm noticing do not run on like they struggle a little bit
Dude.
on like
Yes.
PC 3 like 2022 I want to say or 2021. Like the Olympus Coliseum mod, bro. I I cannot like okay. I used to do this for my mod videos. I used to like go ham with mod videos in like 2022.
Yeah.
I can't do it anymore. Also, my SSD bricked itself, so
Oh
I'm
shit.
down to my SSD that came with my pre-built. But I cannot stream and record KH3 at the same time anymore, without the game like lagging or stuttering or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's become a little more tricky to record modded stuff. And I remember I was talking to Discount, I believe, and they asked me what my rig was, and like I told them I had like an AMD I had like an AMD processor, and they told me like, oh, I think it's been. If I remember, I might be horribly misquoting it, but like they were telling me that they might have been having some issues with like AMD stuff, from what it seems.
Hmm.
Also SSDs. There's a lot of some modders are making these mods on like some cracked out PCs
That's
that
what I'm
people don't
saying,
have,
dude. Yo,
that people do not have. I'm realizing.
I know a modder, right? And this was like back in early PC days, right? And
Yeah.
he was like, "Yeah, dude, I have a 4090 and like a Threadripper and like 128 gigabytes of RAM." I was like, "Okay, what the actual fuck are you like? Why do you have a NASA quantum computer to build mods?" But then I realized like, okay, that's for like his job too. But like a
Yeah.
Threadripper and a 4090 is insane.
I'm just saying. I have no idea what the heck a Threadripper is. I'm
Dude,
gonna
a
be.
Threadripper is like oh my god, I'm just gonna. It's a CPU. It's an AMD CPU, right?
Oh,
It's ridiculously expensive. It's like $5,000 by itself,
I see.
and it's like it's the size of like half an iPhone. It's ginormous.
Dang. Okay.
Yeah, but like it's really overkill. It's like overkill of like so you know what an i9 is, I'm guessing, right?
Yes, I know what I know. Yeah.
So it's like four i9s.
Oh, yeah. That's pretty
That's
crazy.
fucking insane, dude. But yeah, and like you see that's the other thing. Like my PC can run the mods I make, right? But then
Yeah.
but then a lot of people have like memory issues, right? And because of that, it's like I can't fix that unless like because when I'm making the mod, I was never thinking about optimization at all. That's like the last thing I was thinking of because I was like my PC can run it, so I don't know what the issue is.
Yeah.
But then now I of course realize that that's a really big issue, and whatever I do next, I'm really gonna focus on optimizing it and making sure it can it can just run on basically
Dude,
anything.
half the reason I'm getting this new PC, is because like I want to play the newer mods without, because I was really disappointed because that Project Shion mod, I was anticipating that for years and I couldn't. But what didn't work for me, Shion worked for me. The party member stuff did not work for me, and it
Mm,
crashed very often. It was some of my rig that was messing with it, like specifically my rig. Like no one else. It didn't seem like anyone else was having this issue, and I'm like, dog, okay.
and
Um,
you know about Project Better Days too, right? You've seen that video and
yeah.
everything, dude.
hmm I doubt.
Insane.
I'm looking at that. I'm like, I doubt I can run that. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
uh, but I'm. It's not a problem with the mods, dude. Please keep making like crazy cracked out mods. Please keep doing it. I will like when I get my better PC, I will like promote these junks because I need to fill this time up, this drop with something.
Yeah.
But like I will admit, with these mods, like okay, KH fans, I feel like I don't want to say I'm a self-claim this here. Any creator, feel free to like talk your crap, debunk me, whatever. But like, I feel like I understand what like the average KH fan might feel a little more. Like, not the hardcore, not the super like obsessed KH fan. Like, I feel like I kind of get what the casual KH fan is like, and it's because I'm in a lot of other fandom that are casual,
Hmm.
but regardless, I mean everyone is too, but a lot of KH fans are not PC gamers. Just to keep it a buck with you.
Yeah.
A lot of KH fans are not PC gamers. They do not have decked out PCs, bro. Half the time when I be talking about mods, or like when I be talking about when I talk about mods, when I talk about like we mentioned Melody of Memory earlier on PC, and I was like saying I might host a tournament for Melody of Memory one day. Why not?
Yeah.
And half my chat's like, "Oh wait, no, I don't have it on PC." I'm like, "Oh, yeah, you guys don't have it on PC." It's
Yeah,
like
dude.
Cage fans are console gamers for sure. They're casual console gamers.
And it's cool that it's on PC. I really like Square Enix's new like push for
What's it on Steam?
multi-releasing. Wait, what about Steam?
I wish Melody of Memory was on Steam really
It's kind of
badly.
weird they didn't do that. I think it might be because of like the multiplayer aspect and the servers. I just don't think they want to spend more money on like the Steam connectors or whatever, the licensing for
Yeah,
Steam. I
they
don't
want to
think they
pay
want to do
like
that.
$20 to keep freaking Miss like Union Cross and Dark Road up. So I get it.
Yeah, I think they're retconning that stuff, man. Which sucks. Which it's a pretty big vital part of the story, but it's like it's cool if they reintroduce it and stuff, and it's cool that like you don't need to know it, but not
No
having
way.
it be accessible is that's not a good message, I don't think.
I don't think they're gonna retcon it. I'm not. See, okay, like I'm a doomer for. It's weird. I've been labeled a doomer for Kingdom Hearts, but like I don't think I actually am. Like I say it for the memes. I actually think I'm like probably more optimistic than most people. It's not about trailers, but I am optimistic about like everything else. I think Union Cross and Dark Road will be fine. I think Nomura will tell that story. What I will say though, to get into a doomer conversation, Nomura mentioned his retirement at the end of last year.
Yeah.
I'm thinking to myself, bro, if KH4 like I'm thinking KH4 releases early 2026. I know you said the 30th anniversary for FF7. I don't know what they're going to do with that, but I think Kingdom Hearts doesn't usually miss anniversaries. Like it's 5-year interval ones. 10th anniversary, Dream Drop Distance. 15th anniversary was our big remix bundles plus 2.8. 20th anniversary, we got KH4 and Missing Link announced. Wah, wah. But look, I think I'm a little concerned when Nomura says that. How long is he thinking? Is he thinking about retiring, bro? And he still is trying to finish this whole saga?
Yeah, I
Is
think
homie about to like retire? Like I'm thinking, I had this thought: is he gonna retire after KH4 and just do like a George Lucas and like hand the story off to someone else? Even though that's George Lucas tried to do that, but Bob Iger was being he didn't honor him. But will Nomura just do that for someone at Square? Like write the story, finish the story, make another director develop it like after he's gone.
No, I think Kingdom Hearts the fourth game is going to really like allow them to just pump out more because of just the reusing of the assets and everything. But
Hopefully.
I mean, I think he wants to do five and then like pass it over. Like the franchise
That's
is
like
not going to be like shelved after he's gone.
I
It's
don't think
really
so
going to take
either.
a new shape and form after he is gone, without Sora related to it at all. I think Sora's story is going to come to a complete end, and then whatever direction Kingdom Hearts goes after that is going to be whatever. With someone else leading it, they might keep the similarities with like Donald, Goofy, and a new character. I don't really know. This is unspeculationable. You can't speculate it, because
So,
it's
so,
just
so,
so
so you agree
unknown.
that Kingdom Hearts continues? Like I've had this argument with Chad a lot. Like do you want it to continue, or do you just think it will?
I think it will. It's not necessarily something I want. It's just it's too big of a franchise. It's one of the big three of or big four of Square Enix. Uh,
Yeah,
Final Fantasy, Dragon Quest, Nier, Kingdom Hearts 4. Those are like the four things that is unanimous with Square Enix.
yeah. Nero slipped its way in there recently, but yeah.
Recently, oh, I don't.
Yeah, dude.
Whoa,
Okay,
whoa,
Automata was
whoa.
a long time ago, but outside of like Automata, the other games have not been that crazy. So I got to see what happens after, like the big game after like Automata and Replicant.
Yo, the big game
But
is already out.
it's
The big
definitely
game's
big
already
for it.
out. You
Definitely big
just
for it. It's
you
definitely
miss
big for it.
the Near 3 already came out, dude. The third game already came out.
Isn't it a mobile game or something?
Yeah.
Dang.
It's also delisted, but it's
Yo,
the third game in
y'all
the
hold that.
franchise. Huh?
Y'all hold that. Y'all got it.
Dude,
The
no,
third
you
game
don't
already
understand.
came.
You don't understand. You don't understand, dude. The Near franchise should not exist. It's actually insane the fact that it's real. I don't know. Do you know the deep lore behind Near?
No, I
Dude,
don't.
dude. Do you know the Drakengard series?
A little bit from Limit.
Oh
Just a
my
little.
god, dude. It's so good. I don't really want to go over it because of like I guess spoilers. But like technically you'll also never learn about it unless you spoil Drakengard for yourself, which is like a early PlayStation 2 game, but the two are connected in the most convoluted crazy way ever, and I love it so much, and I really think that we're going to be getting a new Nier game like in the near future, like
I think so.
within the 2020s for sure.
Yeah. Dude, it feels. I think that's why this drought's hitting so much for KH fans, because this is the longest we've. It's not even just KH4. Kingdom Hearts has never been absent from this, like, this the whole decade, pretty much ever. Like, yeah, we did get stuff from like 2020 to 2022. Half of that stuff is canceled. So, like,
Yeah,
or
dude.
gone.
Yeah.
Like, Union Cross delisted, Missing Link gone, and like, let's be real here. My narrative for like Missing Link and why it's a net positive, even though I don't think it's a good thing that it got canceled necessarily. Net positive meaning most Kingdom Hearts fans don't play these mobile games. I have friends. I have Critic, there are YouTubers I know way bigger than me have not still to this day played these mobile games. And they could make money off of it if they really wanted to. They
Yeah.
still haven't done it. They just don't care about the mobile games.
Yeah,
Like
they really shot themselves.
stubborn.
They shot
You
themselves
have
in the
that
foot.
you have fans that stubborn not wanting to play the mobile games. Like it's I don't know. I think the amount of fans who like know the story of the mobile games compared to even like BBS or something is like single digits, like percentage wise. Like I don't know. It's bad. It's pretty bad. Like Missing Link would have just yes, even though it's very accessible, it's a mobile title. Yes, it looked and played like KH3. I think after like a couple months, player base would have dropped significantly. A lot of people would have started watching it on YouTube over time, and the longer that game would have went on, the less and less people who would have kept up with the story, which ultimately means I would have had to been here yelling at them like I was with Union Cross. Bro, play this game, please play this game. No, man, it's a mobile title. Bro, you're missing out. The story's so good, but it's ugly. It's a mobile game. I don't want to play it. Like I don't want to have to do this 3 times in a row, man.
Yeah.
I don't want to do it 3 times in a
Again,
row.
they shot themselves in the foot by beginning it off as a mobile game, but then I feel like it became too important and ambitious, which is what eventually caused them to like they were stuck. They were like, we developed this entire game that's based off of like mobile Pokemon Go, but now we know this game isn't going to last more than a year and a half. So what are we doing? What are we doing right now? Right? Like that game unfortunately was developed with the entire player base having an end of service announcement in their heads. And that's something that you can't really recover from. And again, if they just develop that game to be like Genshin Impact where it's playable on your phone, on your TV, on like your
Yeah.
console and your PC, then it would have done way better. It still would have been a mobile game. It still would have been a gotcha game. I don't know whether or not they would have done the GPS stuff still or not, but if it was just more accessible, then I feel like more people would have been confident in the game and they would have actually pushed it out.
In my opinion, if you're not going the Hoyoverse route with live service games, you're throwing.
Yeah.
That sounds crazy, but like that's just how the market is right now. You're absolutely tossing. Square is like behind. I think that's why this restructure was needed. They are operating like a decade behind. Like most of the time, I feel like I think Rebirth seems like the first like modernized game they've made in terms of like approach and scope. If that
No
makes
doubt.
sense.
I do get what you
Um,
mean.
like they're over here making like Missing Link, bro. It's cool. Like visually, it does look really good. But like, what mobile game that is actually trying to be successful stays on mobile like only like I
I
don't know. That doesn't
mean,
make sense.
not much, and we kind of can see how most of their mobile games are being canceled and shut down. The near reincarnation game being one of them, right? And I
Yeah.
think they just, I think there's three things that went into canceling Missing Link. One of them was the fact that it was mobile only, and they knew it was going to die within 2 years max, right, or minimum, I guess. I honestly think that they saw this game possibly with a minimum of a 1 year lifespan. Maybe they could have pushed it to two, but I think that's what reincarnation was. I think it was 2 or 3 years. Um, and then the second thing was the company is restructuring to move away from gotcha games because like their business report was majority of their income is coming from gotcha mobile games, which has very little development time and money put into it. But then the games that they're spending countless um, hours developing and millions of dollars in developing um, is making the least amount of money for the company. And the new CEO is like, this is unsustainable and it's unacceptable that the games that we're spending and putting this much time into are making a fraction of the money than the gotcha stuff that the previous CEO was pushing for. It was like, well, fuck, if gotcha games is what's making money, we're just gonna keep pumping them out. Which is like, yes, but like, is that really what you want your brand to be known for?
Yeah, if you're going gotcha, you have to go the live service approach of like Hoyover's games,
Exactly.
which despite the criticism, those I actually the reason I do actually like Hoyover's games, despite all the stuff surrounding them, right? Um, I will advocate for this. They are definitely games first, gotchas second. Like when you actually play those games, there is a crap ton of content that you get before you even like have to pay anything or should
Yeah,
pay anything.
exactly.
Like Genshin, I put like 50 hours into Genshin before like I felt like I felt like before I felt like I wanted to buy something. Like I don't know that like I love that. Like they get you. It's a little. They know what they're doing, but like I guess it's slightly better than what we had before. Before gotchas, before Hodoverse, gotcha games were like
Candy Crush.
very very low effort Candy Crush. You're over here swiping for artworks instead of like actual playable things. Like it's
Mm-hmm.
I like my live services being an actual game. But to continue that point you were saying about the CEO, the reason it's a very smart decision is because even though they make probably most of their money from that, I think the actual thing they make most of their money from right now is 14. 14 is crushing it. But they I equate like the gotchas to it's like daily money. It's like today's money. It's like that's not the money that they're gonna have like long term. That's the money keeping them afloat, but not the money actually like saving their business, putting stock into their business or anything. The thing that put them on the map in the first place was obviously like their big IPs, and even their gotchas revolve around their big IPs. But slowly over time, I think their IP they it's weird. Like I can't their IP has definitely grown, but reputation has weakened. Like I want to say, I definitely think Kingdom Hearts' reputation took a little bit of a hit post 3, just whether we like it or not. But I think the franchise still is technically more valuable than ever in terms of like sales and like profits. Probably the same with Final Fantasy. Final Fantasy, even though they haven't had a game as massive since like 7, or like as massive since like their PS2
Massive.
era, in terms of like sale figures, like I'm sure that like general profitability for Final Fantasy games is like up like 6 like 15, like I think it did reach like 10 million, but because of how long that development cycle was and a lot of other factors surrounding it, like they probably barely broke even on that game or barely made like a profit, like a profit they were probably wanting to on that game. Like you could tell that a lot of Square Enix's issues isn't really the games themselves, probably not even the gotcha tiles, but it's probably like a lot of business decisions culminating over like decades, really. And now it's happening at this time period where
Yeah.
people want a lot of games from them.
They had to cut their losses up front rather than later, which
Yep.
unfortunately I think Melody of Memory, not Melody of Memory, Missing Link was caught in that, and which really
Yep.
sucks because I really feel like that game was more complete than they were letting off, man. And
That GPS feature was insane. Like I didn't care about it at first. I did not. I was like, who the heck wants to play a Pokemon Go KH game? I
yeah,
looked into what they were doing. That system would have okay, if if Missing Link did blow up, I think that would have been crazy. That would have facilitated a more IRL community for Kingdom Hearts that I think the community probably should have more of.
dude, that was only 30% of the game. That was only 30%. The GPS
Mhm.
function. I spent most of my time playing that game like Kingdom like a console game. I don't know why it was on the phone because that's how it would have been when the game was actually out. Like driving in my car while having the game in like car mode gave me like 50k AP. I didn't need to gather AP for the rest of the beta, and that beta was a week long. It was insane,
Yeah.
and I was able to play the story mode for like majority of the time. I wasn't able to finish it because it got ridiculously hard. I was doing like no damage, and then the AP lets you roam in the GPS mode using a controller without actually walking. So I was able to like teleport to like Japan, for example, and go to like
Yeah.
the Poke not the Poke Stop equivalent there, and I was like maybe using 3k AP um per roaming, I guess. I had more than
Yeah.
enough. So that game really barely relied on the GPS function to actually like walk around because of the auto GPS it had for when you're in a car.
That game had scope. That game had honestly, I might go as far as say that might be like the most scope a Kingdom Hearts game has had, and it's for a mobile game. And I think it's kind of that kind of makes me sad a little bit, but it's also like, dang, they really did cancel that at the same time. Like,
I think it was I think it's more of a loss than a gain, even though the gain is like, okay, we don't have to rely on playing a mobile game now. I
For
just,
reputation, it's a gain. And that's why I'm saying it's reputation for the reputation of Kingdom Hearts. I think it's a gain
yeah.
long term.
Yes, yes. I do agree with that. I wish it was, it's contradicting myself. I wish it was after Missing Link that the series decided to go in this route. But again, I really think they can reuse a lot of that game.
Yeah.
That be in a separate game or in a movie. Again, if they're using Missing Link as a tax write off, if they start a new Kingdom Hearts project and they reuse all of Missing Link, do you realize how much money that new project would save and how good that would look for Square Enix to make a full game with like a fraction of the cost of development by just reusing Missing Link? And I
It would
think
be
that if they
crazy.
do that, it's the best case scenario. Worst case scenario, obviously, we're it's not going to see the light of day. But I don't think they would do that. I hope they don't.
Dude, I Missing Link really could have been the ultimate live service for Cage. That could have been the holdover for Kingdom Hearts for years to come if it was just on every platform, like straight up.
Yes, I
It
know.
would. It would.
It's so weird. They like again the developer when he was talking about it on his blog, right? He talked
Yeah.
about how he this is like a lot of hearsay. I'm just going off of memory. I only read it once.
Yeah.
Basically they came up with the idea of like having a GPS function. They pitched it and it got greenlit, right?
Yeah.
I don't know, like it's such a cool idea, but I don't understand how they couldn't have like realized the potential of having it on all platforms other than just mobile. I it's such a it's so peculiar to me because the Hoyoverse method is very well known. It's available on everything. I can play Genshin. It's cross-platform. I can play on one account on like all my devices.
Yep.
They could have just done that with if the GPS was such an important thing to them. They could have just made it so that like it's like yeah, you have to play the game with GPS, but you can still hop on your PlayStation, download the game for free, and like it carries over your AP, or drop drop a subscription every week. You get like 30 free AP. Sorry, 30K free AP. You know, you don't even have to use the GPS. You're paying us a weekly or monthly subscription, and we're giving you a fuck ton of free AP. Oh, it's free money, free money.
Dude, I want to ask you. Well, that's one of the main things I want to ask you this stream. I'm glad I remembered towards the end of it. Do you? We talked about Unreal Engine and stuff earlier, and I've
Mhm.
seen you make tweets about how like you don't think the game's taking longer or anything because of Unreal Engine 5. Personally, I feel like I don't know how long it would have taken, and I want to ask your opinion because you've actually like developed and like made stuff, whether like be modding or not through Unreal Engine. What's your take, like just generally speaking, on that?
So
Like how
when an update
yeah
comes out for Unreal Engine, if I'm on Unreal Engine 4 and I've made no major changes to the to the engine because you're able to make a project and add a bunch of custom stuff to the project. Obviously it's what you're making the game in, right? But then you can also
yeah
make core changes to the engine itself, right? It is an open source like engine, right? So if I don't make many changes to the engine, I simply hit update on my project and then it becomes the newest version of Unreal Engine 4. Same thing
yeah
from 4 to 5. If I make a project in the newest version of Unreal Engine 4, I can literally just hit a button that upgrades the project to Unreal Engine 5 and I can continue development. Obviously, this game has a bunch of custom stuff made to the engine. This is I am a like very feeble-minded when I'm saying this, right? It probably took them less than 3 months to get it from 4 to 5. And that's like I think that's really long. I think it was less because they simply just needed to carry over all their custom stuff they made to the engine from 4 to 5, and most of the custom stuff people make to the engine in 4 was introduced as base stuff in 5 as well. It really is not. a crazy upgrade, and it was a fraction of the time they've spent on making both Missing Link and 4. Um, so it's not like, because the thing from for 3, it was like Luminous to Unreal Engine 4 is like one computing language like Java, for example, to Python, right? You can do the same things in both, but they're not they're not equal, right?
Yeah.
So you have to translate all that. There is no translation needed from going from 4 to 5. Realistically, like I said, if no changes are made to the engine itself, it is as simple as just upgrading it, right? Another good analogy is every year iPhone comes out with a major iOS update, right? That's what Unreal Engine 5 was. It was just really a really big update that was big enough for them to call it Unreal Engine 5, in which they themselves have made enough changes to the core engine, adding things like nanite, like, which are just buzzwords nowadays, because you don't even most people who use Unreal Engine 5 don't use the things that were introduced in it, like nanite, because most of those things like have a heavy cost on your PC or like whatever console you're running on. So most of the time you could be playing an Unreal Engine 4 game and you wouldn't even know that it's Unreal Engine 4. You could be duped into thinking it's 5, right? Um, so that's my thought on it. I've seen a lot of people who are more well versed in Unreal Engine 4 and just game development more than me kind of share this sentiment, because it's kind of like it's really it's hard to grasp, but like it really just it makes sense as to why it wouldn't have taken that long to translate it.
Okay. That's interesting. Because as someone who has no experience in any of that stuff, right?
Yeah.
Uh, my only understanding of like Unreal Engine 4 and like or Unreal Engine 5 and the criticisms it gets is a lot of games that are released on Unreal Engine 5 have had, or by a lot, I guess like you could say some of the popular ones. A big one recently being Rivals. People having like a lot of issues with those games depending on their rigs and whatnot. And I guess maybe they associate that to a bigger problem with developing Unreal Engine 5 as a whole and optimizing games and whatnot. It just feels to a lot of people like these Unreal Engine 5 games are less optimized and less polished than the Unreal Engine 4 ones were. Um, that could just that might just, from the sounds of it, especially what you're saying, it might just be like a narrative where maybe games are less polished, but it's not because of Unreal Engine 5, it's just because game developers being game developers sometimes.
Yeah, and
um,
Unreal Engine 5, I mean, it is still a different engine. I know that somewhat contradicts what I said earlier, but it is different. And in that sense, like, if you're very well versed in Unreal Engine 4, you will be like you as a developer can very easily use Unreal Engine 5, but it still does it handles things a little bit differently. Um, and it introduces many new things that you're not familiar with, right? And
yeah,
I think that yes, Unreal Engine 5 is a very small part of that problem of being unoptimized. The other part is really just like those games that have issues on Unreal Engine 5 would most likely still have issues if it was developed on a completely in-house engine or like a separate engine. It would still have those same issues of like I think a lot of people experience a Unreal Engine 5 stutter is what they call it, right?
yeah.
That really is just optimization on the developer's side, I think. It's not baked into Unreal Engine 5 itself. But yeah, I don't think it's a bad engine or anything.
Okay. That's really okay. I appreciate your insight a lot on that because that definitely makes me think a lot. Because like I think I talked about this in previous room. I think Kingdom Hearts' modern like customization to Unreal Engine 4 was essentially the Kingdom shader for like visuals and stuff, right? Um, I think.
Well, so the version that Kingdom Hearts 3 uses is the 2017 version of Unreal Engine 4. Um,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I can't remember, but I think 0.2 uses 2015. So you can already see how they were upgrading. Like after 0.2 came out, they were upgrading all the way up to the 2017 version, and then they eventually had to stop because every time you update it, when you have custom stuff in the engine, as well as just custom stuff, I guess in the project too. Obviously, it's never easy. It's never easy as hitting update. Is as good as that sounds. So that's kind of why they stopped with the 2017 version, because at that point the updates that were coming out for Unreal Engine 4 had no real value to them, right? Now the reason I think they're doing it for Unreal Engine 5 is because, I mean, it does introduce better lighting as like a core part of the engine, and plus, as a company that makes AAA titles, you kind of want to be using the newest version of whatever technology you are using, um, which I
Yeah.
think is why they upgraded to 5. Plus, I mean, visually, there is a difference too. But
Yeah.
but yeah.
There's a lot of fans who think that, and I've seen like popular accounts boost this, saying that Square probably just shouldn't have switched over to Unreal Engine 5 because they compare Rebirth staying on Unreal Engine 4 and how like that's probably the smoothest anyone's ever seen a Square game go in the past like that in 16. The smoothest a game like development from Square Enix has gone
Hmm.
probably in the past decade, to be honest.
Yeah.
I think every game they've released, there's been like every AAA game, there's been like something going on with it the past like 10 or so years. Uh, but Rebirth, super smooth. Then you look at Rebirth, the sequel to Remake, which came out after Cage 3. And then you look at Cage 4, which still isn't out yet. And FF7 has 2 games out, maybe possibly 3, maybe. People theorize about that. And like, they correlate the engines. They're like, maybe they shouldn't have switched. I think like graphically, the hardest thing, if I had to imagine as someone with no development experience, the hardest thing from what it seems about developing modern day Kingdom Hearts is probably the visual. And it's because
For
of their
sure.
approach with KH3's worlds and how they were trying to change the art style per world and then
Hmm.
doing that with every form change, doing that with all these effects and like
Hmm.
basically trying to do that environment. And if the rumors and what people are theorizing based on like trends and stuff are going to be the worlds in 4, Star Wars, Moana, maybe you have a Inside Out, all these really stylized slash live action esque type movies. Um, 4 world development might be like threes on crack, low key. Because imagine doing that in Unreal Engine 5 on top of the form changes they're probably going to do, on top of just everything. And then Quadrom itself is also a different art style and the scale they're likely going for with Quadrom. I have a feeling when we do see 4 that it's going to completely blow us away.
Oh
Hopefully.
no, dude! I'm telling you, like we don't know anything about the direction it's going. Like we could think about the craziest thing, like the craziest like grounded thing, right? Where it's like not something as crazy as like Homer Simpson and Kingdom Hearts 4, not something like that, but I'm talking about like I don't know. That's exactly what I mean. You get stumped because it's insane that they have the opportunity to go any direction. Star Wars is insane. Like that's the last thing you'd expect in a Kingdom Hearts game, but we're probably most likely going to get that because it's kind of like semi confirmed, you know what I mean? And pre Kingdom Hearts 4 trailer, that would have sounded stupid as shit. I can't lie. Like Star Wars and Kingdom Hearts, like it doesn't make sense, but you can kind of see what's happening. It's getting introduced with the foot in the trailer, man. Like I don't even know how people notice that. I can't lie.
Obsessed Star Wars fans.
Yeah.
Also, the planet looks exactly like Endor.
Yeah.
So
But
that's probably like the big kicker there.
there was one thing I was gonna say about the engine stuff. So Missing Link used Unreal Engine 5, and I mean
Yep.
visually that game. I mean, did that game look like a PlayStation 6 game? No. Did it look like a horrible game? No, it looked like a mobile game. That's kind of the range that Unreal Engine 4 and 5 kind of have. It really just depends on the developers and how much time they put into stylizing that game. Sometimes when I see a Unity game, I can immediately clock it as a Unity game because that like the base setup they have in Unreal Engine and Unity, um, if you don't really branch off from it, you kind of get the samey looking type of games, right? Which is why I feel like most Unity games kind of can get clocked as Unity games, and why Unreal Engine 5 games are like there's this stigma around it where it's like this is just Unreal Engine 5 slop. All the games look the same, right? And
Yeah.
I get it, but that's really just because of the artistic style and direction that these developers choose to go. If you're trying to make a
No,
realistic looking game and everyone's using the same engine, of course it's going to look the same. So you have to really go into a unique direction to make it look different.
that's kind of how I felt about the OG KH4 trailer. I'm going to assume they didn't stylize it too much or put too much effort into it for the reveal trailer because I felt like that was one of my main criticisms. I said earlier how I wasn't feeling the KH4 reveal trailer, and it's because it didn't really look like Kingdom Hearts to me. Like it just felt, I don't know, it felt like indistinguishable.
Yeah.
Not literally, but it felt like visually indistinguishable from like other Japanese games, I guess you could say. And I'm like,
Hmm.
okay, that was disheartening to see a little bit, and that's part of my hope for our next trailer. That's why I did love the screenshots that we
Same.
got. I think it looked a lot better.
And with Final Fantasy VII remake and rebirth, I don't think they're going to use 5 for the third game either. And I think that's partially because the sheer scale of the game and the stuff they must have done to Unreal Engine 4 and the project itself, I think it's just too much of a daunting task. Like that would take a while just because of the sheer size of the game. Um, for like changing it from 4 to 5. And that's
Yeah,
honestly because like so here's the thing with Unreal Engine 4, right? Most companies have like an in-house engine, right? And they make that from the ground up and then they start using it for all their games, which is why their games kind of all look somewhat similar because they're using the basis of an engine they made themselves, right? Now,
yeah,
Unreal Engine 4 or Unreal Engine in general, it's since it's open source, you can make your own engine using Unreal Engine as the base, right? And I think that's kind of what they did with Final Fantasy VII. So because of that, since they basically have a complete custom engine, it's like yes, that in this specific case, going from 4 to 5 would take a while. It's as if you are going from one engine to another because of all these inner systems they have created within the engine itself. Um, I also think it's also like they don't really need it because of like you know when they're visualizing what they want to make for the game and they're like, does Unreal Engine 5 have something that 4 doesn't? Okay, no, it really doesn't. So why would we switch, right?
yeah.
But yeah, that's kind of my final thoughts of the engines and everything.
Okay, that was really insightful, like genuinely. Okay, I think we're probably going to end it off here.
Yeah,
Stream about 3 hours. It was a really fun stream with you, Critic.
absolutely.
Um, I would totally love to do more in the future if you would want to. Thank you, Critics Chat, for having me. And for those of you in my chat, make sure you guys subscribe to Critic. They stream every Thursday. They also are very active on Twitter and other platforms. And hopefully we see some more mods coming from them soon.
Oh
This has
yeah,
been fun.
absolutely, man. Thank you for setting this up and everything.
Yeah, no problem, man. Um, with that chat, thank you guys so much for watching. I'm gonna head out. And
All
remember to
right.
be nice, be safe, and take care.
Are you are you done?
I'm. It still says stopping stream.
Okay, okay. Hey, I had tons of fun. I would be 100% open to doing this again. I'm sure there's There's many more things to discuss. I can't lie.
Heck yeah. I had a lot of fun, dude.
Yeah, same, same. I'm still live, by the way, just FYI. But
Oh, bet. Oh, I should have rated you then.
oh,
Dang
you
it.
you
Hold
can
on.
do that on YouTube?
Yeah, I do forget to sometimes, but yeah.
Interesting. All good though.
Well,
I might be bringing my own to a close as well. It's getting a little late for me. I can't lie. 12:30.
yeah, I got to clean and set up for cooking. This members I end.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, I guess if you ever want to do this again, you could just hit me up, or I'll hit you up sometime too. I guess. But thanks.
Heck yeah, dude. Still love to talk to you more, even outside of streams and stuff. So
Absolutely.
you take care. You have a good one. Body critics chat. You all have a good one as well. Want to head out. Good night.
See you. See you. How awesome was that, everybody? Such insightful talking. Phenomenal, phenomenal. I'm really sorry for not having really looked at the chat. I was really in depth in that conversation. I can't lie. I I had a lot of fun. Let me know if you guys enjoyed that. I would for sure be down to stream this again. Well, I probably am, obviously, but yeah, thank you everyone for coming out. Like I said earlier, I'm probably gonna just bring this to a close myself. I'm getting relatively tired, so yeah, I will. I yapped a lot. Sorry, I'm just trying to lock in. Thank you for coming out. I'll be posting my monthly video. It's coming out on the 30th, so keep an eye out on that. And yeah, you all have a fantastic rest of your evening, day, night. I'll see you guys in the next one.